So, hello, good afternoon, and welcome to our virtual e-commerce accelerator program. And today we're going to get right into the stuff that matters. Yes, last week we introduced ourselves and we also introduced the program, the methodology and our approach. And this week we're going to jump right into the content as soon as possible. Present with us are businesses across the region, and also there may be some BSOs who may be present on today's session. So let me just welcome everybody, and without much further delay, let me invite Gilbert, who will lead off, and then Leighton will take over for most of today's session. So thank you very much. Gilbert, over to you.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I'm assuming it's afternoon wherever you are. Thanks for taking the time to be here again. I understand that this week we have several BSOs in the room. BSOs are here. Could you raise your hands, please? Anyone representing a BSO? Lenoy, welcome back. Lenoy, this is not new to you. So who else to say? Richard Collymore. Richard, which BSO do you represent?
My organization is Orange Light BSO, and I also represent the Black Entrepreneur Association in Guyana.
Which country?
Guyana.
Guyana. Welcome. I think this is your first VEAP session?
Yes, it is.
Wonderful. Anyone else here from a BSO? I'm going to try to pronounce that. Varicia Williams?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Varicia. Tell us about yourself, where you're from, which BSO you represent.
Representing Antigua and Barbuda, not exactly a BSO, but from the Ministry of Trade.
Okay, wonderful. You help business organizations within BSO and within Antigua?
Can you repeat that?
Do you help the business organizations within Antigua? Small business?
Sorry, I didn't hear the first part of your question.
Let me slow down. Do you help businesses in Antigua?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Then you're a BSO. Someone else had their hand up a while ago, but you took it down. Who is that? BSO? Any other BSO?
Good afternoon. I did.
Vivette.
Yes, last week I already introduced myself, so that is why I took it back down. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Hey, Leighton, could you drop your screen for a second? Oh, wow. Leighton, could you stop sharing your screen for a second, please? Wonderful. All right, so we have a lot of content to share, right? The reason that I'm picking out the BSOs this week is because BSOs are critical to this program. A lot of the content that we're going to share and a lot of the work that you guys are going to have to do. First, from the BSO perspective, BSOs are going to have to help these businesses along the way, right? It is critical. But as I said this last week, small businesses are critical to any economy, whether it's in the global north or in the global south, particularly in the global south. Small businesses like yourself are the largest employers and drive economies within the smaller states, within the smaller state economies. BSOs, these small businesses lack the resources that you may have access to, right? At some point in time, I'm going to take a session of maybe a half an hour to go over some of the requirements that BSOs should have, and if you don't have them, where you should be reaching out to resources that can help these small businesses. As Leighton and I get deeper and deeper into the program, you have issues of financing, issues of marketing, issues of technical support, right? That a lot of these businesses do not have access to. As BSOs, you would have greater access, or you should have greater access to these resources, even as a Ministry of Trade per se. You would have, whether it's capital, the knowledge base, or the reach to get access to these support agencies that these small businesses are going to need. So I don't know. As I said, we're supposed to have 14 BSOs registered. Well, we're supposed to have from 14 BSOs from 7 countries so far. I think we have 18 countries being represented here, right? Now, it also means that businesses that are not represented by a BSO here, you're going to have to pay a great deal of attention to what we are transferring to, the knowledge transfer and the practices. Yeah, and when you have challenges, when you struggle with any of the content, as I reiterated last session, and I will do so again today, please reach out to us as soon as possible. It's important to us to show you over the period of time that you're in this program, the 6-month period, how you have progressed along the way. All right. We don't want you stuck on module 1 when we're on module 3. So if you're challenged by anything and you don't have a BSO that's representing you, it is important that you reach out to us as early as possible. And that us, at this particular point in time, Philip, I'm going to have to ask you, would Dario be available to field the questions that may come from these businesses or BSOs? Or who would take on that responsibility in getting those questions over to myself and Leighton?
Yes, so you can write to me, but definitely copy to Dario, who will be looking out for these things. But I just also want to say to the businesses in each country, reach out to the known BSOs in your country and ask them if they're part of the VEAP as yet, if they have signed up, and if so, you would really love for them to be there so that they can gain the knowledge and the resources to support you. Because as Gilbert rightfully said, this as a critical success factor, we definitely need that sort of support and engagement from any of the business support organizations in your own country. And also, it's also important for them to build the capacity so that they can conduct programs like this on their own going forward. So reach out, call them, call the offices, and find out if they're a part, if they're going to be a part, if they're going to sign up, so that they would respond to you. So thank you very much.
All right. Next thing, housekeeping. I would like each and every one of you here to do this for me right now. Alongside your name, as it shows up on your Zoom, could you put the name of your business as well? Yeah, Rishon Richardson, they I think the 2 BSOs from SVG signed up.
There's a Center for Enterprise Development and Invest SVG.
Correct.
Yeah, Gilbert, you might want to tell them where they can go to make that adjustment to their name.
Okay. So right where your name appears, right in that window where your name appears or your image appears, you should see 3 dots. Right? If you click on those 3 dots, down to the very bottom is something that says rename. You click on rename, and then you could change the name as it appears in the bottom of the window. So I advise that you keep your name. So like right now, I'm looking at Keisha Tisson. Keisha, if you could leave Keisha Tisson and then put alongside that the name of your business or your BSO.
Pardon me, I hear you.
Okay, so wherever so in order to change the name on screen, I'd like you to have your name plus the name of your business or your BSO. Click on the 3. Yes, so if you go close to your name, you see the mute button, and you see 3 dots. Click on the 3 dots at the bottom of that list that appears. You could see something that says rename. You rename yourself. Put your name and your business alongside it. Good job, Angela. See that? I have HD Lady Grenada. You can just click in. You have Shanice Delay, Ashanti Trotman. A number of you guys, just go in and just change your name so that your business name appears next to you. Rasia, very good. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. You're from Worcester Wines?
Yes, please. I'm Keisha Tyson. Not
Yeah.
Tyson.
All right, good. Tyson, I see it there. You have done it. Yes.
Sylvester Adeklar, that's good.
What is the name of your business, Sylvester?
Adela Booz.
Okay, good. That works.
Thanks. One other thing, I'm dyslexic, so it'd be difficult for me to write in the questions, so I may have to do more voice than writing.
Okay, wonderful. That's okay.
Thanks.
So we have someone that's monitoring the chat. When Nathan is teaching, I will try to monitor the chat as much as possible and get any questions over to him or any content over to him. So please, everyone, go ahead, change your name. Alicia Grandam, Dorothy Crawlis, Cleo Wells, oh, I see your name there now. Anyone else? Princess Douglas. Anyone who wasn't here last week who missed your introduction session?
Princess Douglas, Alicia Granum. They need to adjust their names.
Ivan Raposo.
I see Sean and TCH. I don't know if you could spell that out a little bit more, expand a little bit more, Sean.
And please, please keep it this way so that we do not have to spend this valuable time asking you to change it next week. So next week when you come on, that should be one of the first things you have done.
Okay.
Okay. Because this helps to build a community of practice among ourselves and also help us to get to know each other a little better. So build our help our curiosity in kind of like investigating who we are working with. Yes.
Now I'm getting field control. Okay.
Okay, excellent. Anyone who wasn't here last week? Raise your hand, please. Wonderful. Kerry, George, Esther Prudence, Sandra Britton, Varista, you had your introduction, P.S. Stubbs. This is excellent. Debbie James. Yeah. Kerry, can you tell us a little about yourself quickly?
Okay, I'm Kerry George from Dominica. I have a company called CIS Enterprises. Recently, well, over the past 2 years, been doing some sales online. I'm also working with a partner company in the US to try and expand to expand the business regionally, so we could ship from the US to an island or from one island to another, different products.
Excellent. What type of products?
Pretty much anything. Within the Caribbean, it would be whatever is being manufactured in one island that can be shipped to another island. The idea would be to advertise it on our website, and anybody within the region or even from the US could purchase these items, and working with the different shipping companies, get the item shipped. Also do consolidating of products from different suppliers or different manufacturers to get it between the islands.
Wonderful. Esther.
Hello, everyone. This is Esther Prudence Hines. The name of my company is Prudential Enterprise, and we do accommodation rental, vehicle rental, procurement, and logistics.
Which country?
Guyana.
Wonderful. And Cleo Wells, Cleopatra Rituals.
Great afternoon, everyone. So as we mentioned, I'm Cleo Wells. Currently have a brand of 100% natural body products and candles I manufacture and teach.
Wonderful. Shanicia Daly.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shanicia Daly, and I'm from Tidal Company Limited. We're the home to two brands, which is Kerry Numblins and Juliana. Juliana would be sauces, spices, condiments, and Kerry Numblins would be juices. We also do canned ackee, kalaloo, and we have bami.
Okay. I'm assuming this is Jamaica.
Yes, it is.
Wonderful. Beverly Payne.
Hello, everyone. My name is Beverly Payne, and I am from Barbados. My company is a small company called Scentadora, and we specialize in luxury scented products, and that would be like perfumes, body mist, candles, wax melts, etc.
Wonderful. Melissa Jones Gittins.
Good afternoon. I am Melissa Jones Gittins from Grenada, and the name of my company is HD Lady. I am a makeup artist. I also teach makeup courses, and I also have a line of high definition vegan makeup products. It's professional grade makeup products. And I am looking to have these products available for purchase throughout the region and internationally. Well, already some persons purchase, but what I would like is to have the products be available for purchase online. I do have a website, but the problem is with my e-commerce payment methods. So I want to ensure that when this come on streams, the payment method come on stream, we have a very efficient way of getting these products out in the other markets. So yeah, so basically, and also my courses, online courses.
Wonderful. Winsome Rio Grande.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Winsome Crosdale, and I'm from Jamaica. My company is Rio Grande Farms Exporters. We produce and export quality fresh agricultural produce, various crops, bananas, plantain, breadfruit, coconut. Outside of that, we purchase from a wide range of our farmers throughout the island, fresh produce, and we export. Currently, we're exporting to the UK and to Canada. We're looking to expand our markets, and therefore, I am looking to benefit from this program by increasing our presence via online so that our markets can be expanded. Thank you.
Excellent. Ida Williams. I think we did Ida already, right?
Good afternoon. You did my colleague, Shanicia Daly. So it's Ida Williams, Title Company, Clarendon, Jamaica, makers of authentic Jamaican sauces, condiments, canned products under the Juliana brand, and then juices under Clarendon Blends. We're an export company, hoping to be online with sales in the near future. Our products are available online now through third parties, different places in the world. So delighted to be participating in this webinar series. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. And T. Vicky, Ubiquitous Dwellings.
Hi, my name is Tanya Fonless from Barbados, and we are Ubiquitous Dwellings. We are a rental management company that is presently in the process of pivoting. We are looking to provide accessory dwelling units, small modular houses for persons who want to use them for various reasons. So we're looking to sell online, and so that's why we joined the course.
Excellent. Looking forward to hear more. Madison Lewis.
Hi, good day. My name is Madison Lewis. I operate a small CMOS byproduct business. So I use the CMOS to produce cosmetics, capsules, and some food and beverage items. I am from St. Vincent, located in the Grenadines. And I'm really looking forward to this training to see how best I can strengthen my brand and get my products online.
Excellent. Are you in Canada?
I was in Canada and I'm currently in Bequia.
Okay, wonderful. All right, guys, thanks again for being here. All right, again, I'm going to reiterate 2 things. Add your name the name of your business next to your name. Again, click on at the very top of your window, you're gonna see, I mean, your little window you see on the Zoom screen is something that says mute and something that says, you see 3 buttons, click on the 3 buttons. Down at the very bottom, you're gonna see something that says rename. I need you to add your name of your business close to your name. So Lewis, that would go to you as well. Yours Esteverne, just change your name. Maslin, please do the same.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, my name is Louis Esteban. I am CEO in SETPA, and I'm from Haiti. My company is agricultural company about a mango in castor oil in General Hotel. But right now I am here in New York. I'm coming for looking some contractor about a buyer and distributor agency for my company, for my project. But after I come back to my country for continue my activity.
Okay, wonderful. Welcome, Louis.
See, thank you.
Okay, guys, as I said again, thank you for being here. We really appreciate you taking the time to be in this space. Soak up as much as possible and hand you over to the capable man, the e-commerce. What's the name? Tell me, Philip.
E-commerce General, the e-commerce general.
General. Leighton, take it over.
All right, thanks for that, Gilbert. A pleasure, guys, to be here with you again. Today, I see we have at least one person from my home parish, Clarendon. So it is good to actually see another Clarendonian on the call with us today. Give me a second, guys, just grabbing something that fell. Yeah, man. So today we have 93 participants, and we hope to see that number grow to the full complement in short order. I'll be sharing my screen and taking you guys through today's session, which will be covering the first module of the VEAP program. Are you guys able to see my screen?
We're just seeing a small part of it. It's part of your search bar, I think.
Part of my search bar. Hold on, I'm going to just make sure I am sharing the right screen. So, oh, I think I selected the wrong screen. Give me a second, guys. All right, so. Guys are now seeing my screen, right? With the VEAP module 1?
Yes.
Perfect. Put it in full presentation mode.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm moving to next. Perfect. All right, guys. So, good afternoon again. Thanks, Gilbert, for going through well-needed introductions and getting persons to change their names. We want this to be a standard way of interacting on the sessions. So we may remind you at the beginning of every session to make that change. Today, as I said, we'll be covering module 1, which covers e-commerce business strategy. And I want to quickly talk about a few of the things that we'll be covering as part of module 1. Right? Give me a second. Let me just move this up to the top. That'll give me a little bit more real estate to play around with where the presentation is concerned. Right. All right. So we have about 8 modules to cover throughout the course of the 6 months. We will be going very deep into e-commerce, and we will start off with strategy, right? I know a lot of us are eager to get into payments. I think we have a few mics that may be unmuted. I'm going to ask persons who may have their mics still open to just mute them in the meantime, please. Gilbert, can you just assist me there? I know that us as administrators are able to
Yeah,
make.
I'm muting them for you. I'm going through the list.
Just take a glance through for me while we're going through, all right? Right, so as I say, I know that a lot of us are eager to get into things like payments and so forth, but at the end of the day, we are here to train you guys on e-commerce. We're here to give you the full 9 yards as to what it takes to move your business online. And guys, we're not talking about hustling online. We're talking about building sustainable business models that can impact your business in significant ways. I know we're still going to have a few of us who are still in that hustle frame of mind, and we hope that throughout the course of this engagement, we will shape that frame of mind to seeing your business in a far greater light. Just again, I shared, you know, a few bits and pieces of my own story in our first session, and I'll say that taking an e-commerce approach towards my business has made a world of a difference in terms of just our sales, in terms of our clientele, in terms of just even our ability to service our customers wherever they are. I mean, we were already a tech company with that frame of mind, but you know, looking deeper at e-commerce and how it is that we could leverage these tools, strategies, and just shape that mindset has made a world of a difference. As I mentioned as well on our previous calls, Gilbert and myself are two entrepreneurs as well. We train in e-commerce because we specialize in e-commerce types of businesses. So you're not getting this information from somebody who is an academic, right? Yes, we have done quite a number of trainings. So it's not that we spin this out of thin air, right? And we have trained reputable companies before. So you're getting the information from the horse's mouth, somebody who lives, breathes, and eats e-commerce on a daily basis, right? And we put together this curriculum based on what we know that people need to know when making decisions around e-commerce. A lot of what we will cover today are the things that I have to sometimes spend an hour talking about with my customer, sometimes even more, just so that they can understand how to make e-commerce make sense for them. So today we're focusing on the business strategy. We're going to do an e-commerce overview. I'm going to talk about the e-commerce business model, which covers value propositioning, you know, revenue streams, target marketing, customer touch points, relationships, distribution strategies, key sales activities, and cost structure, right? So let's get into it. E-commerce, what exactly is it? E-commerce is the buying and selling of goods and services using the internet and the transfer of money and data to execute these transactions. Let me repeat. E-commerce is the buying and selling of goods or services using the internet and the transfer of money and data to execute these transactions. So guys, e-commerce is not all about payment collection. Credit card payments is just another payment method that helps to make e-commerce work. There are some of us here who are wondering, how are we going to make e-commerce work for us based on our own environmental factors? And we're going to show you the whole 9 yards, all right? Now, how does e-commerce work? E-commerce typically starts with a customer taking up a device, searching for a service provider to purchase something from. Upon finding that service provider, this peruse their product display or their list of services. They typically then submit an order to the business to acquire this product or service, after which the business has to process that order internally, register that sale, and then fulfill the order by providing the product or service to the customer. And that's pretty much the typical cycle that any e-commerce transaction goes through, right? So it is not much different from somebody visiting your store, because they still have to find the store, still have to look at what you have to buy or sell. There's still the cashier who has to process that order, and you typically leave with your order so it is fulfilled. And in instances where it has to be sent to you, then it is delivered to your address based on the nature of the sale, right? And whilst I'm going through at any point in time, we invite questions, we invite interruptions via questions. You don't have to wait until the module or the presentation is at the end for you to ask your questions. This format is done with open discussion. We want to invite persons to be very open and candid about their questions. And if I say something that you feel like you want to challenge, feel free, we welcome it, because I will learn from you, you will learn from me. We're not going to tell that we know it all, because every single country and jurisdiction is different. However, we will maintain focus on the Caribbean environmental factors and needs, right? So feel free to stop me at any point in time. Feel free to ask any questions related to your business as I'm going through. Please consider the content within the context of your own business. Now, why e-commerce? Why should you incorporate e-commerce into your business model? I think COVID has done a great job of showing us how e-commerce can work. Up all the things that it did show persons that with technology and with the right approach, we can do business with companies without having to physically go to their office to do this. But the long and short of why to choose e-commerce is simply to reach more customers. We operate different types of businesses. A lot of them may be brick and mortar businesses that are operating from physical locations that typically would require persons to visit those locations to purchase from them. E-commerce can be used to expand the reach of your business within your town, within your parish or state, within your own country, and even access customers outside of your country. So it could be the Caribbean region or it could be Timbuktu. It doesn't matter where the customer is, they can buy from you using e-commerce, right? Another reason as well for using e-commerce is that e-commerce provides the cheapest expansion strategy. You can activate it, it allows to activate expansion in the cheapest method. Typically, again, a brick and mortar business would seek to set up a physical business place somewhere in another location to expand their reach, their offerings to persons within that particular geographical area. E-commerce enables you to, expand beyond the borders, enter new territories without ever physically having to set foot in any of these countries. I myself have customers across the Caribbean, in North America, Europe, Switzerland, and I've employed persons from as far as the Philippines to work in my business simply because of the e-commerce model that I employ within my own operations, right? When COVID came and persons were scampering to figure out how they could have kept business going, that was not one problem that we had. Our problem was servicing the amount of persons who were coming to us during that period, So we say this to say that, e-commerce is a very powerful tool that should be considered as part of your sales and marketing effort, and even considered at a high level, as it relates to how you structure a business model and activate different business strategies to grow your sales and profitability. I see Melissa Jones has a raised hand. Melissa, you can go ahead.
To find out, based on your experience, right? How easy has logistics been for you in terms of shipping? Because I find, for example, it might be easier to send out my products to the US as opposed to send it to another Caribbean island. In terms of the time it takes via our post office. And secondly, payment methods. E-commerce platforms. How easy has it been to have these available through the local banks, or have you used a local bank?
Which country are you resident in?
Grenada.
Grenada, correct?
Yes.
Grenada, right? Okay, great. Thanks for that question. All right, so payments and logistics are the two biggest headaches that we have identified to overcome within the Caribbean context of e-commerce, whether it is acquiring the payment facility or just getting the products across the Caribbean. Yes, you are right. From a logistics perspective, shipping across the Caribbean can be a nightmare. From a time perspective and also from a cost perspective. Now, Gilbert has an entire module that he will be going through on logistics and operations, where I know he will address a number of these issues. So I want to save majority of the answers related to that for him to address in that module. But it will be addressed, and it is definitely highlighted as one of the issues that we face. At the end of the day, where the logistics is concerned, there's no easy answer to it. The reality simply is that based on the infrastructure that is readily available to ship goods, it is easier to ship to these first world countries than it is to ship to our Caribbean neighbors. Whether you're using FedEx, UPS, the post office, there are some challenges there that are difficult to overcome. As relates to your question related to payment solutions, again, another challenge that a lot of persons are faced with. There are a number of solutions that work for different persons. There are things like PayPal, which is the world's easiest platform to acquire from any country. The issue is, getting access to your funds after PayPal has received a payment, and there are some countries where it's easier, and even PayPal can be even integrated into their core banking system, whilst with others, that is not a viable option. For many others, their best and sometimes only option is First Atlantic Commerce, which is a payment gateway built specifically to service our region. They've been around for about 25 years. But some persons may find First Atlantic Commerce's fees to be a little bit too expensive for their operations, especially for those who are just getting started in e-commerce and are not able to easily quantify the return on investment that they will make, that they will get when they make this decision to acquire First Atlantic Commerce. So, but for larger businesses, it's a no-brainer for them, because for them it's just another payment gateway. I have done integrations at every level, using majority of the popular payment solutions. We've done it with PayPal, I've done it with Stripe, I've done it with First Atlantic Commerce, and in recent times, for Jamaican-based businesses that I've been working with for payments, especially the larger entities, First Atlantic Commerce is coming out as one of the better solutions. Even the turnaround time for acquiring the solution and going through the testing phase has significantly improved since COVID. So it's just a matter of looking at the Grenadian context to see what solutions are readily available for that space, and what's the best methodology or way to activate it. But again, I have an entire module on systems and payments that I'll be covering. Gilbert has an entire module on logistics and operations that he'll be covering. We'll go much deeper into that response when we get there. All right. So I hope that this response for now is sufficient. But we will be getting into it a little more. Today we're on strategy. So I want to keep our questions related to strategy today. All right. I see a few more hands up. Do you want to just unmute and get into it quickly?
Okay, all right, thank you. I just want to highlight that PayPal payment can be made easier through Payoneer, linking Payoneer to PayPal, and then using that Payoneer card to access the funds.
Right. So Payoneer is a wallet service provider, a mobile wallet service provider, digital wallet service provider that allows you to connect US or digital bank account to these payment facilities and receive funds in those accounts. Payoneer is one of the pioneers, I would say, in Caribbean e-commerce in terms of enabling persons to access cash from these online transactions. When I started to look at e-commerce in 2015 for Jamaica, 2Checkout and Payoneer were the two solutions that you could put together to solve the e-commerce challenge of collecting payments online. I don't know if two of them still work very well together, because I know 2Checkout has pulled out of a number of countries for different reasons. But Payoneer still stands as a reputable and reliable service provider who enables persons to get quick access to cash that they have collected through these other global payment service providers like PayPal. So that's a good injection right there, and something to consider again. Even within the Grenadian context, if PayPal is your best option or your easiest option to get started with, and you're having challenges collecting the money, then maybe pairing Payoneer to withdraw the funds from PayPal may be a solution that you can explore and do some research on. So I would say probably start there, because at the end of the day, guys, reality is that PayPal does offer the cheapest and the quickest way to get started. For most of us, it could be our main opportunity to get started. It definitely is the cheapest, definitely is the easiest. But I know some business models may have challenges related to that, but let's see what works for your business model. I see a few more hands up. Just unmute your mics and go, please.
Hi, I'm Crystal from Trinidad. I was wondering if WePay was active in the other islands.
WePay is now active in Jamaica. They came here, I think, maybe last year. I think they moved their head office from Trinidad to Jamaica over that period. And they've been trying to gain some market share here. I'm not sure what the uptake is like, what they partner with the first global bank here in Jamaica. I'm not sure which bank in Trinidad they partner with, but they are coming to market as a viable alternative to PayPal. You know, there are different perceptions on their service. I've not used them personally to give you my own opinion as yet. But they are definitely one of the cheap and easy ways to get up and running in Jamaica as well, along with another solution called Figaro, which is a product of First Atlantic Commerce. It's just an easier, more turnkey solution that allows persons to collect payments, especially if you are collecting payments against invoices. I think it applies well there. There are also other what we call payment facilitators, persons who will allow you to leverage their infrastructure to collect payments on your behalf. We at Get Paid have done that before for quite a number of customers over the last 2 to 3 years. And since then, we have seen quite a number of other service providers come up within this space. So there are different solutions, and there are different solutions on different scales and different size businesses. At the end of the day, the key is to be aware of what they are and what the different considerations are, and to choose the one that best suit your makeup, your budget, and your operational need. All right. Any other questions?
Yes, please. Good afternoon. When it comes to
e-commerce, would you have to go through the same procedures as if you would have set up, or sorry, would be selling directly to the person, like a face-to-face in another country, like how you have to do certain have certain documentation and stuff like that? I really can't remember the terms right this minute. But would you have to like licensing and make sure you have, obviously your products and stuff would have to be compliant with the particular jurisdictions you will be operating in? Will all of that still apply?
Yes.
But more so I'm looking at the documentation. Would you have to have like a specific license to sell in South America, UK, whatever?
No. All right. So
the certificate of origin, etc.
Right. So the key thing here to understand is that e-commerce is a sales channel. If your customer could sit in Honduras, pick up the phone and call your office, send a wire transfer and order some goods from you, then they can buy it via e-commerce. The main thing to be aware of where e-commerce from a documentation and requirements are concerned is that you must be first a registered business in whichever jurisdiction you are operating. So if you're operating in Jamaica, St. Lucia, Guyana, Trinidad, Barbados, they need to have a registered business in the jurisdiction that you plan to operate from. Then you need to acquire a bank account, a business bank account, if you're going to work with a local payment gateway. Once you have a business bank account, then you will be able to tap into merchant services. Merchant services are an extension of business accounts. Merchant services is what enable you to get like a swipe card machines at your business place or that you see at gas stations and many other areas that collect card payments. E-commerce is an extension of the very same account or product that allows to collect payments online. So the same account. So if, let's say, for instance, here in Jamaica, I have an account with the National Commercial Bank, and I went to them and got a payment processor, a card machine to process credit card or debit card payments. Then when I get my payment gateway, it will be the same account that the monies would go to. So once you have a registered business and a business bank account, and you're able to acquire a payment gateway from pretty much any local service provider. When it comes to acquiring the payment gateway from PayPal and so forth, the only thing you need to have is a registered business. Similarly with Stripe, if you choose to go that route as well, right? As it relates to other documentation, these will be the same documentation that you will be required to have if you were selling from a physical business location, right?
Leighton, let me just jump in for a second, please.
Sure.
Just some housekeeping rules. Guys, this program is really in-depth. If we can go over the curriculum again and all the different modules, what I don't want to happen is that we turn this into a frequently asked questions platform. Leighton is going to go through the module of strategy right now. If we keep having questions about all the other aspects of the program, that before we get to those programs, you really don't get the true content and how you get to this point, right? I'll give you an example. We're talking about logistics and the challenges of logistics from a shipping perspective. Logistics is so much deeper than that. We're going to take you through the whole path of where you become ready to handle international shipping. And then all you need to do is plug in a carrier. We'll get you to that point. We'll get you to the point where we understand the payment challenges and what is required for you to accomplish and have payment solutions on your platforms or on your website. We will take you through the entire process. That makes that a lot easier for you by going through all those options. But if we make this a frequently asked question session, and I don't want to stop you guys from asking questions, right? But if we can keep those questions specific to the topic that we're discussing, that would be absolutely great in moving the program forward, and you get in everything that it has to offer. All right, thanks.
Yeah, man. Thanks for that, Gilbert. We have to remain on topic, guys, because what we're trying to do is get the most out of each session, all right? So, trust me, we'll be covering all of these things. If you have not received a breakdown of the different modules as yet, you will soon receive them. So you'll see what type of content is coming up next as we go through, all right? So we're still on strategy, and we're still on the overview for e-commerce, right? One of the questions that a lot of companies ask, before COVID was, is e-commerce viable? Does it make sense to invest in that space? I know that a lot of us are here because we believe e-commerce to be a viable business option for us, but at the end of the day, the numbers don't lie, right? So here are some quick statistics that were published last year about mobile penetration. This one is talking about the mobile penetration in Jamaica. And there's not one single statistics that cover the entire Caribbean. There's a breakdown for each country, but each country either has very similar or better statistics than Jamaica. And we're not talking about the population, but more so things like the percentage penetration of these different things. So here in Jamaica, you'll notice that there's 103, almost 104% penetration of mobile phones, which means that at least one person has a mobile phone in their possession. And once you have a mobile phone in your possession, it means that you are accessible both to your peers and also to businesses if they have your phone number. At least somebody can pick up the phone and call, hey, Mr. Campbell, hey, Miss Johnson, or they can send you a text, hey, Mr. Campbell, we have an offer to want to share with you, things like that, right? And then when we look at the internet users, we have almost 70% increase, almost 70% penetration, which again, all countries have increased internet penetration over COVID. Again, online learning and the need to do business online drove a lot of this increase over the last 2 to 3 years. But this is what Jamaica is looking like. And again, generally this represents around about average. And there are a few countries who are doing better. Like I think Cayman is one. I think Barbados may be another, who may have better numbers where this is concerned. Number of active social media users here are almost 60%. So what this means, guys, is that as a business, you have 100% access to persons via mobile phone. You have 70% access to persons via the internet, and you have almost 60% access to persons on social media, right? Which is why it is very important for you to at least have somebody's phone number when you're doing business with them. Gone are the times when people are entering transactions to their systems and only registering the sale, the amount of money that they sold for whichever goods. People are now collecting personal information as part of the sale so that they can reach out to them with promotions and share information with them. I remember buying something from Old Navy about right before the recession started, 2019, 2020. And I was buying from a physical location, but what they did was they wanted to offer me some discount of 30% discount. I could only get that 30% discount if I gave them my phone number and my email address. Why? Because that's what they use to drive communications with their customers. So when I gave them that phone number and email, by the time I reached home, they sent me a copy of my receipt. I didn't get a printout receipt. And they started to share their coupon codes for the 30% discount and any other information that they thought was meaningful or important to me. And for me as a customer, that definitely would have encouraged repeat purchases if I was staying within the space. Also, that coupon code could have been used online. So if I wanted something to purchase again in short order thereafter, I could have benefited from that sale. So, this is an example of how persons are using their knowledge about these statistics and how to leverage these different channels to engage with customers. And we're going to get into that in one of our modules that speak about integrating your offline operations with your online and so forth. I want to highlight quickly some other statistics which we need to know. Oftentimes, we as Caribbean persons don't have quick and ready access to statistics about our industries or about a particular initiative. So that's why I'm sharing these statistics with us as real numbers that we can go by. These numbers are coming from the Global Digital Report. You guys can Google it. It is powered by Hootsuite, one of the world's largest social media post management platforms. You can Google it, and I'm sure that we will share this as a resource to this module later on. But I quickly wanted to highlight these are global activities that we need to be aware of, especially for those of us who are looking to access global markets. 81.5% of persons search online for a product or service to buy using any device. 90% of persons visited an online store to review products. Almost 70% of persons use a shopping app on a mobile phone or wallet. Almost 77% of persons purchase a product online, and at least 55% of persons purchase those products using a mobile phone, right? So 5% more than the rest. I mean, it's not extremely large, but I'm sure that the rest of that percentage is divided up between desktops, tablets, and other devices. What it says, guys, is that for those of us who are really considered e-commerce, we have to put the mobile user first, especially when we're selling lifestyle-related products. Persons will be, waiting to nod off a bed and scrolling through Amazon, scrolling through their favorite store, adding stuff to cart, just doing, that as part of their wind down process. Sometimes people are actively searching for things to buy online as well. So it's good to know what these numbers look like and how do you fare against them. I've been telling persons recently here in Jamaica that halfway tree is a very popular shopping district here in Jamaica. And I've been telling persons that I have not gone to halfway tree to buy anything from probably months or years, because everything I wanted was go on Amazon, look for it and I get it shipped directly to me. I just don't have the time to be walking up and down search for something that I may not find. It's just a much more easier, simpler process. And all of these searches are done on my phone. I can't tell my laugh. I've gone on my desktop or my laptop or even my tablet to search for any of these things. It's all done via my phone. So we need to be aware of what the numbers are, what people are doing, so we can know how to activate, where to go and show up, where do we go and find them. This is also how I have been able to attract customers to my business who actually do business with me. Yesterday I had, I don't know if it's a fortunate or unfortunate experience of actually having to see somebody at my office. I realized it has been actually 2 years since I've entertained anybody to come to my office to do any business with me, because all of my interactions are done digitally, right? So this is a quick example, guys, of how much I, in my own business, have adapted this way of working, and it's working for me. I sell digital products / services. It can be very different for those who sell physical products. So I'm not going to tell you that every single approach works for every single business, but there are ways and means of leveraging e-commerce in a way that impacts you. Here are some final page of statistics which I wanted to highlight, because again, a lot of times we hear the numbers and we don't know what really makes sense and what doesn't. And again, guys, you can Google the global digital global report to get access to for these numbers for your specific country. Every single country is listed. So if you have a target, if you are targeting persons in Puerto Rico, you're targeting persons in England, you're targeting persons in your own country, you can look at the statistics to know where to go and find them when you're searching for them. Getting some feedback from First Bank. Can you tell me to find that person and let them? All right, thanks for muting. All right, let's go back to these numbers quickly, guys. All right, so we're seeing here where at least 78% of persons have an account with a financial institution. This for me is a very powerful number because I've been hearing a lot how, you know, Caribbean countries have very low financial adoption and persons are still sleeping with money under their pillow and under their mattress. But this number is telling us that has significantly changed over the last couple of years. And also for me, persons with financial, with accounts at financial institutions are the first persons who we can access to do business with online. Over COVID, during COVID came down and suddenly persons were scampering to find solutions to enable them to collect payments online. And the one that came out on top was the method of bank transfer. Once you have a bank account with any institution, you are able, in most institutions, to get an online account from them that allows you to see your balance and complete transfers. This has become one of the main payment methods for e-commerce based businesses in the Caribbean. It does give you some administrative work to do where payment reconciliation is concerned, but it is definitely one of the payment methods that you want to activate for those of us who are running e-commerce based businesses, right? It says here that at least approximately 14% of persons who have credit cards. This does not count persons who are like the Visa and Master debit cards, which would then, you know, balloon this number significantly. But unfortunately, we don't have a number specific for the Visa and Master debit cards. But we know that these are the ones that are automatically coming with the accounts by default in most banking institutions.
It's all good.
Somebody is muted.
Excited for more help. There's also says anything, just let me know. Feel free. And yeah, let's see if you're more help.
Go ahead, Leighton. We can't hear you, Leighton. You're muted.
Oh, sorry about that. Seems as if I muted myself in trying to resolve that matter. You hear me now, though, right?
Yes, all good.
Yes.
Perfect.
I'm hearing you.
Yeah, man. All right. So some more statistics. Another thing that is coming on the rise are mobile wallets. You know, here in Jamaica, we have Link, which is becoming very popular. I think in Barbados, I've heard about this something solution. I don't know what its name, but the name is. I think Trinidad may have one or two other solutions as well. Mobile wallets are becoming more popular where you're able to spend from your phone. And it's one of the areas I think that can unlock e-commerce because it gives access to the unbanked and enables persons to be able to purchase from you that may not be, that don't have formal bank accounts, right? We're seeing here where 10.5% of persons in Jamaica have, you know, made online purchases or paid bills online. So this is different from the global report, right? And then we have some more statistics down here at the bottom that talk about gender performance and so forth. We're not going to focus too much on that, but I want to stay focused on are the numbers that support or validate the ability to do online commerce, whether or not they're collecting credit card payments and other things, but at least, again, having a financial institution, having an account with a financial institution for us is the first entry into e-commerce because it allows you to send money from where you are to pay for goods or services somewhere else, which means that all you need to do after that is just have an order management system that supports that process, right? But we're going to get into that when we talk about systems, right? But now we're just focusing on strategy because we have to be aware again as to what the different strategic pillars are that we're going to pull on. Some of the challenges that we've identified as, you know, as part of the overview here are poor technology and logistics infrastructure. So people just don't know what to choose from a systems perspective, and there's the issue of logistics and getting your products across the Caribbean. I've come to understand as well that some countries don't have much of a robust delivery network. So persons have to deliver their products themselves. There are others where, you know, delivery services, bearer services are abundant, and they don't have to consider the nuances that come with getting products from point A to point B. But these are some of the challenges that persons are facing, and these are coming from real people who have expressed these challenges. Then you have the matter of low credit card penetration. In the first world countries, it is normal for even 80% of their population to be equipped with credit cards. In Jamaica and the Caribbean, it's quite the opposite. There is great scrutiny of persons who apply for credit cards, and there are different reasons why persons will approve or disapprove your ability to get one. The good thing, however, is that there is a significant increase in debit cards that can make purchases online. These debit cards are typically branded Visa or MasterCard debit cards, but they enable you to complete the transaction online just like you would with a regular credit card, right? So that does not stop you from doing the business online. Some persons are also very skeptical about online payments, with fraud and so forth, especially like in Jamaica where, we have a high occurrence of financial fraud and so forth. You find that there is a lot of skepticism around it. The difficulty is that I'm sending my money to you and I am at your mercy for fulfilling the order that I am paying for. And sometimes, most times, I would say probably at least 95 to 98% of the times, business is honored. But there are those few moments when, we find ourselves dealing with unscrupulous persons that sours the experience for doing business in this particular way. And it's just like any other business here, there will be always fraud in one way, shape, or another. But we have to put the necessary steps in place to protect ourselves from these fraudulent activities. A part of it sometimes is doing some due diligence on the business. Are they online? Are they posting a lot online? What are their customers saying about them online? Are they complaining about the quality of service? Are they complaining about not getting their goods or services? What is the feedback? So we have to do our due diligence when shopping online from person, which is one of the reasons why Amazon does very well, because Amazon has found a way to build trust with their customers by guaranteeing a money back or a resolution of the service that is likely to be in favor of the customer. And these are things that we're going to talk about, guys. How do you engender trust with your customers? How do you get persons to do business with you in a way that is upstanding and of good order, and to keep them coming back? At the end of the day, business continuity will not happen without trust, and we'll have to discuss for each person what that looks like, and how do you translate your way of doing business to engender trust in your prospective customers. All right. Now we're going to quickly talk about e-commerce business strategy. And as part of talking about e-commerce business strategy, we want to introduce Kim's Beauty's case study. Kim's Beauty is a case study that we'll be using right through the entire course of this program to help to make the content relevant to everybody. I'm almost sure everybody in this room can understand the provision of beauty services, whether you're male or female. Us males typically go to the barber, which is a much simpler service than a salon. But the females, I'm sure, will grasp very quickly the concept of a salon. Us males, we will understand it as well. So we don't have to worry, right? Now, this is the case study. I just want to quickly define what this case study is so you can understand it. Kimberly, so this is about Kim's Beauty, right? And Kimberly is a certified beauty technician by the Heart Trust NT in Jamaica. For the last 10 years, Kim has been working in a large hotel chain spa, providing beauty services to hotel visitors and bridal parties. Kim has now grown tired of the 9-to-5 and decided to open up her own beauty business on Howard Cook Boulevard in Montego Bay, Jamaica. That sounds familiar for a lot of us. Instead of the 9-to-5, we want to run our own business, want to be our own boss, not realizing that we're now creating our own 9-to-5. Right? Well, let's hope we can move past that and create viable business models that can survive without us. Yes. So Kimberly has decided to, decided to provide beauty services and products to females in the tourist town of Montego Bay. Her specialty is in equipping her female clientele with styles that make them feel trendy and confident. She has just completed the setup of her business place and is ready to sell beauty services, beauty service appointments for hair, nails, face, and body. So she's selling bookable services via appointments. She's also selling beauty products like lipstick, hair moisturizer, makeup, and nail polish. So she's selling physical products that you can, sell using like an add to cart system, similar to how you buy on Amazon. She's also selling raw materials that beauty service providers use when providing their services. So she's no longer selling only to consumers, but she's doing a little bit of B2B. She's selling to businesses as well. And one thing you will know is that selling to businesses is different from selling to consumers, right? So it's a different model. She's then employing a different model in her business to captivate a different audience or to build out an additional revenue stream. And we know having multiple revenue streams is important for business. Then we have she's selling courses to females on how to choose and apply the right shade of makeup to their skin. Females, know how challenging that can be until you figure it out for yourself. So Kim's Beauty is selling courses. So for those of us who are in the business of selling information, selling courses, selling training, then we'll definitely touch using this example to touch on how to activate against that. And then you have customizable wedding packages to female tourists who are having destination weddings in Jamaica. So for persons who sell quotation-based products that require to make an assessment or discuss the details of the requirement to provide a proposal or pricing, then this would typically be a quotation-based type of selling, right? And we're going to exemplify some of those in our conversations as we talk through the different areas of e-commerce. So during Kim's time working at the hotel spa, she observed how they can use e-commerce strategies and tools effectively run their business. Kimberly is about to launch her business and is trying to figure out how she can use e-commerce to develop, grow, and sustain her business while delivering value and achieving profitability, and also how to set up her business to efficiently operate without her having to be there every day. And I think the latter is a lot of us, is relatable to a lot of us. That's what we ultimately want for ourselves. We want to be able to continuously earn money from the work or the assets that we have developed, whilst not having to be there every day to move the needle yourself to make it happen, but the business can run without you. How does she go about achieving this? Is a question that we will be answering throughout this cohort over the next 5 to 6 months. All right, so let's talk about choosing an e-commerce business model. We need to know who we're selling to. What type of business model are we activating? These are some of the popular business models. I'm going to go through them and explain them. In the case of Kim's Beauty is definitely taking advantage of the B2C and the B2B business model. She does sell her products and services to consumers as well as selling her products to other businesses as well. Then there's a consumer to business business model where a consumer is selling its product or services back to a business. In Jamaica, the Jamaica Public Service Company, which is the power company, exemplifies this by allowing persons who have acquired solar technology to sell their excess energy to the company. So this is where a consumer, the same person who would typically buy from you, is selling back to you, right? Then you have C2C, which is consumer to consumer. This reminds me a lot about eBay, where somebody goes on a website and the same person who is selling is also buying. So I could be there selling a book, but I'm buying a pen in the same marketplace, right? And you have direct to consumer where you make your product and sell it directly to the end customer. There's white labeling and private labeling, which is white labeling is where you take somebody else's product and you put your branding on it and you resell it, right? So for example, I have done a little bit of this with customers in the past with my SMS service. I have a SMS service, SMS software that I use. I've had customers take that software, rebrand it as their own, and sell the service like it's them make it, right? Like it's their software. And you wouldn't be able to tell because it's all their branding on it. But they're buying everything from me and they're paying me monthly or yearly to use the application and still buying messages from me. Private label, is one of the newer models where persons, a lot of peer brands are using private label as a way of getting their brands out. What they do is that they go to the manufacturer and they say, all right, this manufacturer is already making here. And these here don't have any brand attached to it. They are going to this manufacturer and say, hey, I want to bring my own hair brand to market. When you make this here, put these labels on it, right? So I label it as my own and I sell it as my own product. And it seems as if I have an entire manufacturing process that is empowering my business to do this. But then people don't know that you're just buying the product from a manufacturer elsewhere and putting your branding on it as your own. Then there's wholesaling where you're selling your products in bulk. Not a new concept by any means. We're used to the wholesales, being physical wholesales being in our respective countries, right? But drop shipping is the new hot thing. I want to spend a minute or two on drop shipping. So drop shipping is one of the most modern e-commerce business models and has become popular because of e-commerce. Drop shipping, with the drop shipping concept, individual like myself or like you could go on Amazon or AliExpress or Alibaba.com. And I could see this hat, right? I could see this hat. And I say, you know what? I want to resell this hat to persons all over the world, right? And I will see this hat being sold on Amazon or Alibaba for $1. I will take it and mark it for $3. And I will promote it for sale. Up to now, I have not bought it. All I've done is taking the picture of the hat, taking the description, put it on my own website or put it somewhere for promotion and tell people, hey guys, I have this nice hat over here for sale, only $3. Come and get it. When customers come to me and buy that hat for $3, I then take out that $1 cost that is going to take for me to actually buy the hat from the manufacturer or from my supplier. I go and pay for that hat and have it shipped directly to the end customer. I don't warehouse any hats. I don't create any hats myself. I'm selling something that I don't have in hand and I never ever touch. So when I buy it, I put in your shipping address, the customer shipping address, so it leaves directly from the manufacturer to the customer. One thing to caution when doing drop shipping is that look for drop shipping companies who actually offer drop shipping as part of their business model. What do I mean by this? Anybody can go on Amazon and set up a drop shipping arrangement where they market the product and get a sale for it, and then go and buy it and send it. But when Amazon sends that product to the customer is going to say, oh, the person sold me this from Amazon. So when I'm ready to buy again, I'm not going to go back to that individual. I'm going to go straight to Amazon to purchase from them. With a true drop shipper, a drop shipper would incorporate drop shipping in their offerings to you, the customer, so that you can drop ship from them with that arrangement. And with a true drop shipping arrangement, the company will either remove their branding or contact information from the package, or they will incorporate your branding and your contact information and put it on the package so it seems as if it is coming from you. With the latter of the two arrangements, it increases your customer retention rate. So no longer our customers say that, oh, he bought this product from X place and he's sending it back to me at a higher price, so I'm going to go over there and buy it next time. Instead, they only come back to you to buy it over and over and over again because they don't believe that you are sourcing the product from elsewhere to sell them, right? So drop shipping has become very popular, especially amongst the younger entrepreneurs, persons who want to make something of themselves but don't have a lot of money to invest or any money to invest. Beautiful thing about drop shipping is that all you need is a drop shipping relationship and some advertising dollars to promote whichever product you are drop shipping. So you find that your startup cost to getting business is much cheaper. Even recently, I was contemplating, and still am contemplating, a business model to activate. And the first start process to start with drop shipping, because drop shipping allows me to test the market to see if persons really want this product before going and investing heavily into that particular product area, right? The drop shipping is something that we encourage persons to do. Even you as a Caribbean national can allow persons to drop ship from you as part of your expansion strategy. You could set up a drop shipping arrangement with persons whereby they go out there, they promote your product. When they get the sale, they give you the money for the sale, and then you ship the goods accordingly to their customers. So we can set up drop shipping both as a reseller and also as a manufacturer of the product. Drop shipping, guys,
Leighton,
new hot thing in e-commerce. Yes, Philip.
Yeah, two questions is Rishon was asking, can you combine multiple models? And Fennel was asking, what's the difference between B2C and D2C?
B2C and D2C. Okay, all right. So yes, you can combine multiple models. Keep in mind that each product area, each product category in your business could cater to a different type of business model. So just like with Kim's Beauty is doing B2C, where she is selling her products directly to consumers from her business, right? But she is also doing B2B because she's selling the raw material that she imports to businesses who want to use this raw material to create things like lipsticks, lip balms, or just said gels, that persons will break out into smaller pieces for every time they do somebody's hair, right? So that's a perfect example of doing both. And ideally, for every business, you want to have multiple income streams. Sometimes when activating multiple income streams, persons may choose to look at different business models to activate.
Which two PDFs went into the chat?
Philip, I think you want to go on mute.
Information bulletin for businesses and information bulletin for
Philip?
businesses.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, I think you want to go on mute, I think.
I just muted him.
Yeah, man, cool. Right, so the question from Fennel was, what's the difference between B2C and D2C? All right, in the case of D2C, as in D-Dog to C, most times D2C is where there's a manufacturer creating a product, and a manufacturer normally goes through a distributor or a retailing system to get their product to the end users. Nowadays, manufacturers are trying to see how they can cut out the distributor and the retailer so they can sell the product directly to the end customer, which enables them to make a much higher margin on their sale. Because if you're selling it to a wholesaler or a distributor, they're going to have to give them rock bottom prices for them to get it. The benefit of that is that they will buy in volume. They will buy a lot at one time. But when it comes to selling the product directly to the end customer, they will make a significantly larger margin. The persons will choose which business model best suits them based on their strategy and their intention for their business. It is important for us as Caribbean entrepreneurs to understand these business models and understand how choosing them can make a big difference for us. Even for us, especially as manufacturers, a lot of us here, even in the last cohort, were manufacturers of special oils, of different types of natural products. And for most persons, their business model was to go and retail it on a shelf somewhere, right? You know, by employing things like drop shipping may help you to move those products at a much faster rate. Employing things like direct to customer, where you have a website where persons can actually go on your website and buy the product, is something that can help you to retain more of your margins when you're selling to your customers. You could even, for instance, let's talk about the D2C one, for example. You could, as a manufacturer, place your products on a shelf, and on the packaging, you put like a QR code where somebody can scan to order more, right? So you are leveraging both the retail option to get the products in front of customers, but you're using the website option as a way of getting the customer to shop more with you. And when you sell, let's say, for instance, a biscuit to the retailer at $5, when you retail your own product on your website, you could retail it at $10. You understand? It allows you to retain more of your margins. You may sell one at a time, but if you're good at promoting, then you may sell quite a number. And because you're selling quite a number, though one at a time, you still make a significant profit because of the increased margin that this enables you to do. So understanding your e-commerce model can really make or break your business, or can even catapult it by adjusting to a model that supports the type of sale activity that you want. All right. I hope that was clear, and the questions were answered. All right. So now we're gonna
one other thing. Before you continue later, one of the challenges with B2C as well. I know you said normally they take the retailer would take a large quantity, the distributor take a large quantity. Another drawback to that is that they often take these products on consignment, which means they'd actually for a net 60 or a net 90. So all them take lump sum of this product, and they're not going to pay you for another 60 to 90 days after products are sold. And anything that is not sold, a lot of times they return them to you based on the contract that you have.
Right. And if your products are ones that have a limited shelf life, it's could also impose spoilage. So you end up losing out on those spoiled items, right? So it can be a very tricky space to maneuver where retailing is concerned. What D2C is doing is really bringing some control over your sales process into your own hand. But of course, it does require a bit of sophistication if you expect to move large volumes of products, right? All right. So we're going to talk about the e-commerce business model canvas now. This has been taken from the traditional lean canvas. If you guys have ever interacted with any business model canvases, or you won't find like an example of this anywhere, because this was actually customized specifically for e-commerce, for persons to understand and plan the key areas of their business that they need to activate against where e-commerce is concerned. So we're going to quickly run through the business model canvas for e-commerce. All right. And one of the things that we do is that we change the order of things to start with the value proposition. Why? Because when you're selling online, people need to know what you're buying, and you need to be able to communicate that value adequately. People will not shop online from you if they cannot identify what you are selling and what the need is. But in most cases, people buy a solution to a problem. I'm having acne, I'm looking for some black soap. I have oily skin, I'm looking for a soap that is for that. I need to trim because my hair is growing too much, I need to groom it, right? People are buying to solve a problem. So when you are structuring your e-commerce business strategy, one of the things that you definitely want to highlight is a problem that you're solving. In the case of Kim's Beauty, Kim is helping women to feel trendy and confident, and this is why we included these descriptions in the case study, so that we can pull out some of the key things that Kim's catered to. In Kim's Beauty's example, she helps women to feel trendy and confident. From a pricing perspective, she focuses on scalable pricing strategy based on the quality of products, the service time, and the complexity of the service required. So she don't just say, oh, 10,000 or so do I hear. No. She may say, well, you know, if you're only doing a wash, then you pay $3,000. If you're doing a cut, then you pay an additional $2,000. And if you're doing a style, you may pay $3,000. And these prices are going to be based on maybe the amount of time it takes to do these different products or services. It's important to understand your pricing strategy so that one, you remain consistent with pricing. So somebody's not saying, so why is $10 for this over here and $20 for that for the almost the same thing? What's the difference? These questions, guys, slow up the buying journey. Somebody have questioned, the less questions people have about what they're buying is the quicker they're able to buy, right? Also, at all times, one of the things that we want to be mindful of is that we're always selling the price of what we are selling. Meaning that if I'm going to buy a Benz, I don't expect to pay 10,000 USD for it. No, if you are selling me a Benz and it costs 10,000 US dollars, a brand new Benz, I'm going to wonder what is wrong with it. Somebody saying something? I think somebody else unmuted. Gilbert, let's help me find that person unmuted. Right? So if somebody comes here and selling you a Benz for 10,000, you're going to wonder what's wrong with that Benz because the price is just so too cheap. Similarly, if somebody is going to sell you a Honda for $100,000, you're going to wonder, man, that Honda must be giving me life. It must be having my kids and taking care of my house as well. Because why would I pay $100,000 for a Honda? You understand? Still getting that unmuted mic. It's from Giselle. Giselle, can you go on mute for me, please? Giselle. Gilbert, can you find Giselle and mute her for me, please? For some reason, I'm not able to do it here.
Yeah, trying to find out.
All right, guys, we're reminding you guys to keep your microphones on mute, especially after you join the call. It can be very disturbing to the call whenever we have to break to mute somebody. All right. Hopefully Gilbert will find that person quickly.
Found it.
All right, great, thanks. Right. So guys, we have to sell the price. We have to sell the price. So never ever be shy about that and understand that, you know, how price is communicated to persons will impact whether or not they buy. Right? Because price tells us something. You know, it's just like when you're eating food. If you look at it and it looks good, when you smell it, it smells bad. It leaves you confused. You don't know whether you should try it, if it's dangerous, or if you should call the restaurant waiter. You know, it's the same thing with pricing. You know, when you look at the value of what you're buying and your interpretation of that value, if it doesn't match up, then you're gonna have a challenge. So we're always selling the price, and sometimes you will hear persons say, "I'm selling a shirt. No, I'm selling this watch, and this watch costs only $2,000. When you put that only, is because you're selling the price. So when you put that communication on your website, remember, you know, guys, that when you're selling digitally, there's no sales rep out there to explain anything to anybody. So we have to ensure that our communication is on point, our e-commerce communication on our websites, in our ads, on our social media, in the email marketing email body has to be on point. It has to say exactly what it should communicate to the customer so the customer gets it, right? So we have to be very clear on these things, guys, so we can communicate it. Similar thing with value as well. When you're selling the value of your product, then persons need to be able to understand and interpret the value that you are selling and also the price they're paying for that value. So we'll see here where Kim's Beauty provides value at different scales to suit the budget shopper and the person who wants to spend a little bit more. Because Kim's Beauty prices or pricing model is time-based. If it costs her more time, you're gonna spend more. If it costs her more resources as well, it's gonna spend more. If it doesn't cost much, then you can get it as cheap as is possible, right? And then as well, you have to look at also the buying convenience that we're selling. Do we make it convenient for persons to buy our products when we're selling them? Her one-stop shop approach allows females to get all their beauty needs solved under one roof. Plus, she has a website that she sells her products and services through, offers great convenience to her customers. So this is the value proposition that Kim's Beauty comes to market with, and this is what convinces her prospective customers to choose her as a solution provider of choice. All right. So we know what value we're selling. Now we need to know how are we going to make money? What exactly is it that we're going to sell? And how is that going to work? So in the case of Kim's Beauty, she's selling products. So say we're selling beauty products like lipstick, hair moisturizer, makeup, and nail polish. She's also selling raw material, right? That beauty service providers can use when providing their services. One of the products as well she's selling is courses on how to apply makeup to the right shade of skin. So these are both physical and digital products that she is selling to her prospective customers. So we have to know how to organize and categorize them, guys, so we know how to sell them. Then there is memberships and subscriptions. In the case of Kim's Beauty, she's not selling any membership or subscription, right? But if it is that you sell digital content, you can sell this content via membership or subscription, especially if you're continuously adding to that content, or if the person needs to use the tool or the resource in a consistent manner. So for example, as a business owner, it is common for us to use things like QuickBooks Online for accounting services. QuickBooks Online sell us their service as a subscription service, right? Where we pay every month for continued access to that particular service. If you sell a product or a service that persons need continuous access to, then you can choose whether you want to sell it one time for a big money, or you can choose to reduce that cost and sell it every month to that person. The person pays for it for as long as they're using it. With a subscription model, it enables you to extend the lifetime of your customer, meaning that when we look at sales, especially in the digital realm, customer lifetime is very important. When you look at the value of the customer, look at the value of the customer, not based on what they bought today, but how much money they will spend with you over the lifetime that you expect them to remain a customer. So there are some instances where you expect the customer to last for a year. Maybe the person is pregnant and is going to be needing certain services throughout the pregnancy. So that's the lifetime of the customer. But the person may also become pregnant again and again and again and again and again, which extends the lifetime of that particular customer, right? So there are different ways to treat these types of things. There can also be the case where it's a membership. Membership is popular amongst clubs, tennis clubs, badminton clubs, swim clubs. You want to access a facility or a service on a continuous basis. A membership is very similar. It's the same concept, just a different word for it, right? But allows you to extract more value out of your customers over the long term. In the case where the customer doesn't stay for the expected lifetime of the service, sometimes you may find yourself in a bit of a loss compared to if they purchase the product upfront. But what I will say is that for me, the subscription model works, and it works very well, especially for IT-based businesses, digital businesses, any type of business where the person is constantly reusing your service. I saw even a barber recently sell their service on a subscription level, where let's say, for instance, they normally charge you, say, $600 to trim. They would say, all right, if you take a subscription for us, we're going to only charge you $2,000 for the month. At the end of the day, unless you are maybe a bald person who wants to trim your hair every 2 to 3 days, at best, most guys are going to go to the barber only once per month, which means that he has now moved his price from $600 to $500 per cut if you come 4 times per month. But there are also the instances where I may be busy and I don't get to come to the barber more than maybe 1 time for the month, but I'm still paying that $2,000 JMD, you know. So this is where the benefit of using these types of selling models can come into play for you as an e-commerce business. Then of course there's the booking selling of bookings, right? As we mentioned, Kim's Beauty provides beauty services, bookable beauty services by appointments for hairs, nails, and face. So this is how she'll make money from those bookings. And typically bookings are time-based, so maybe a charge or rate based on the amount of time that we expect to last doing the service, and that's the revenue model for that, right? Keep in mind, guys, that it is always recommended for business to have at least three revenue streams. So if you only are using one revenue stream right now, you need to really consider how it is that you can make a small tweak in your business to increase the number of revenue streams that you have. So if one thing goes down, you're not wholly and solely reliant on that. That helped me a lot in COVID. It's only because I was already considering these factors before that made the process of getting through a difficult time not as stressful as it could have been, right? Then you have services that require customizations. As I say here, customized wedding packages were sold to tourists who have destination weddings. Now, a customizable package normally requires some type of assessment of the need, some type of proposal to be given. Sometimes the proposal itself is the same quotation that you give the person, but at the end of the day, you have to review something before you give pricing, right? So for those revenue streams, you can definitely consider that. Sometimes people will even add a fee for providing the quotation depending on how complex these are things that can be activated through e-commerce. Up to a few days ago, I was requested by a client to provide a e-commerce system that supports the ability for somebody to make a down payment, a deposit on something, and then charge their card every month thereafter with the interest payments that need to be set up for every single payment for that particular service. So there are different ways and means, guys, of creating your revenue streams using e-commerce, and these are just a few that I want to highlight, right? Then we want to talk about your target market. Guys, we cannot sell an e-commerce product without being clear about who we are selling it to. These things are things that we know in the back of our head, but oftentimes we just either lazy or we want to take a shortcut, right? You just want to get to the sale, and sometimes taking a shortcut is not the best option for us because it does not give you a structured way of going about things. And especially if you are a small business who is looking to grow and add team members, the more you add team members is the more you need structure for them, right? Remember, it's no longer just you doing the thing, you're handing off work to persons to be done. A lot of times they need context. So if I'm selling Kim's Beauty and I'm selling wedding packages, then I need to know that, hey, it's the females who will just get proposed to. I need to be finding where are these persons, where can I find them, right? So this is what your target marketing is about. Who are these persons, right? So in the case of Kim's Beauty, it's females between the age of 20 and 60, right? Where are they? They are visiting and are living in the tourist town of Montego Bay. So whether it is visitors who are coming to Jamaica and passing through Montego Bay or staying in Montego Bay, or it's persons living from Jamaica who are living in Montego Bay, right? That we were looking to target. And then you have the what. What are we targeting them with? We're looking for persons who are looking to get beauty services done for themselves, right? So clearly we're not targeting males and we're not targeting females who want to buy clothes. Looking for persons who want to get beauty services done, right? And when we are this specific about things, guys, it helps us to set up the campaign managers a lot easier. So when we're ready to start promoting our products and services as an e-commerce business, you're going to want to promote online. I have an entire module on lead generation that we'll talk about here with digital marketing, right? But at the end of the day, these things are being discussed for a reason. These are key considerations that you must know when you're selling online, right? So they want to also know, who. So we say what persons are looking to get beauty services done. They're looking at when. No, the when is one of the most important things that oftentimes persons overlook. Why is this so important? At the end of the day, every sale comes down to timing. We have to complete the sale at the time when persons need to buy. Nobody buys something when they don't need it or they don't want it. So when is the time that persons are most likely to buy is the question that you should be asking yourselves when you're ready to sell. So for example, in the case of Kim's Beauty, if we're targeting tourists, then we have to target tourists during the tourist season, right? Or if we're targeting locals, then we have to target locals during busy seasons when, you know, there's a lot of events, a lot of things happening and people have a reason to get dolled up and look pretty, right? So, or it could also be right throughout the year now because you have some people now who need, like the corporate persons who need to look a certain way. If you work at a bank in Jamaica, you need to groom yourself consistently. And the manager will tell you that you need to, you know, present yourself in a particular manner to your customer base, right? So there are different times, different seasons, different reasons to promote your business to your target market. Sylvester, see you have your hand raised.
Yeah, go back to the what I didn't really answer. Go back to the what again? Do a little more about that.
The what?
What are you looking for? Yeah.
The what? Okay. The what is exactly what is being sold. So in the case of Kim's Beauty, it is persons who are looking for beauty services in general. What is the product that you sell, Sylvester?
I hand weave fabric to make bags and other products. Like I also do garments.
Right. So in your case, your what would be when persons are looking for fabrics to make bags. That is the what that you are selling. You are selling the fabric. You're not selling.
I said the bags. I the fabric stuff, but mostly the bags. Okay, so
okay.
You what with the bags?
So the what is exactly what you're selling. What is the product?
Okay.
What is the service that you're selling? What is it that persons are looking for? What is it that persons are coming to you for?
Okay.
Right?
Thanks. Okay.
Again, guys, these things are important because when you're going to look at, I'm going to give you an example of how you use this type of information. When you're looking at setting up a Google search advertisement, a Google search ad is an ad that you run on the Google search engine when persons are searching for specific things. So let's say, for instance, I just got an injury and I need a knee brace or a knee wrap. That is the what I am looking for. So when I go on to Google and I search knee wraps for men, for argument's sake, or knee wraps for athletes, or knee wraps for playing football, that is the what I am looking for. Which means that if I am in the business of selling knee wraps, then I need to be very clear with myself and with my customers. What words do they use when they're searching for what they are looking for? You understand? So it's important to understand the terminologies that are used when persons ask for your products. If you're in, let's say, for instance, the medical field or any specialized field where there are jargons that are being used to reference your products, you need to be aware of them because these things make a difference when you are setting up your website. When you are writing the copy for your website, you hear people talk about search engine optimization a lot. You hear people talk about getting found on Google a lot. It is because they are very clear about what your customers are looking for. So they ensure that those words are being used in the body of the messages, the text, the copy that they are writing for persons to find them. I'll give you another example, personal example. In my case, I get a lot of leads from Google. A lot of leads from Google, right? And initially, I never used to get much leads from Google. And I changed one word in my search engine advertising. When I displayed what I had to offer, I put the word Jamaican. Because I knew that my customers were looking for a solution, a technical solution that was geared towards Jamaicans. There are many technology solutions that are out there, but it is difficult to find solutions specific for us Caribbean nationals. So when you see the word Jamaican in there right away, they knew that, hey, these guys are selling solutions for Jamaicans. Made a big difference in the conversion rate from my advertising, right? So these are things that we have to be very clear on, guys. And we're not talking about this because we love to talk. We're talking about this because strategy has to lead before actions. If you don't have strategy, you'll take actions that make no sense, actions that don't give you a return on investment, actions that waste your money. So be very clear about who you're targeting, all right? Customer touch points now is another area that we must understand very well now. All right, so we know who we're targeting, we know what we're targeting them with, but where are they? How do we find them? How do we actually target them? How do we reach them, right? These are areas that we must consider. And when we're doing e-commerce, we have to look at both the online and the offline. Oftentimes people just think, all right, I'm already selling online, I can only promote online. No, the same people who are online are also offline in other areas. If you want to maximize your marketing reach, then you must find all the touch points that persons are at. Let's use the example of Kim's Beauty. Kim's Beauty is looking for customers to get hair appointments, buy hair products, and to take beauty courses, right? It is natural for her to start online and say, all right, let me run a social media promotion on Facebook and Instagram that only targets females between the age of 20 and 60. So that is somewhere where she can go to find persons who are interested in her products, right? Then she could also target travel websites with advertisements. Have you ever been on a website before and you see ads in specific areas that has nothing to do with what website is about? These are advertisement areas created specifically to show ads. Some of the times these ads are placed by Google themselves, right? So Kim's Beauty will typically look for travel websites that facilitate the display of advertisements so that the tourists, remember guys, you know who you're targeting. You have multiple market segments where you target, right? So she may be targeting persons who are living in Montego Bay, which is one market segment. And then you may also have persons who are visiting Montego Bay who are tourists on another market segment. And because she understands that, she knows that she needs to target a travel website where tourists are using regularly to either find things to do in the country or just perusing because they're curious about what is it that they can do when they're either coming here or are already here. Then you're looking at news tabloids websites as well. So for instance, in Jamaica, we have things like the Jamaica Gleaner, the Jamaica Observer, which are two very valuable assets for if you want to know what's going on in Jamaica, you know. So whether you're in Jamaica, you're coming to Jamaica, you just left Jamaica, these are two assets that you may want to leverage, right? So this is where these are touch points, places that Kim's Beauty can place an advertisement and have persons visit our website or visit our store directly just by seeing these things, right? So those are the online touch points. When we think about the offline touch points now, we think about the hotels. So the tourists are here in Jamaica. Where are they? They are in the hotels. They're at tour locations, so maybe they've left the hotel and they're maybe now on a Juta bus or a bus going to a tour, or maybe they've reached a tour. I've seen where persons have had relationships with the tour, with the bus drivers or bus conductors to give everybody who enters the bus a flyer about their business, right? That's a way how persons have leveraged or used these buses to promote their business. These same tourists or even the locals may also be at cafes. If you're of the more productive, if you're a very productive person and you may not have an office, or sometimes you just want to work outside of the office or just be away from the office, a cafe is somewhere that you may use from time to time, right? Also, restaurants and bars are used both by locals and the tourists very regularly. So putting a flyer having flyers in these offline locations with your website address attached to it, or having a QR code being displayed on these flyers so somebody can scan and open your website would be a good strategy for Kim's Beauty, right? So these are some quick examples of how you could find the person that you need to reach through these different touch points, right? Any questions on these two areas of customer touch points and target markets? Any questions? Feel free to put your hands up and ask those questions. No questions at this point in time. All right, so we're at the 2-hour mark.
Go back over the online thing again.
The online, this is online touch points.
Yeah,
right?
go back a little bit. Yeah.
All right, cool. So the question here to ask is, how do I find my customers online? You say you met, this is Sylvester, right? Was that Sylvester who asked me to go over?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Sylvester, you say you make bags, correct?
Yeah, I do. I read I made the bags after I read the fabric.
Okay. And who do you make bags for males or females?
Mostly females. Older females. Most of my customers are between 35 and 60.
Okay. And where would they normally buy your bags?
I go to different markets here in Barbados. There's some markets like hotels and some galleries and stuff. I go to a gallery or a different market, Cry Festa or stuff like that.
Okay. Have you ever considered things like magazines and so to put pictures or ads of your bags in? Have you ever tried that or considered that route before?
I've never tried that. I never tried that really.
Okay,
That's
that's
interesting
fine.
though.
All right, that's fine. All right, so let's think about your context and how we would help persons. What would be your online touch points for persons to find your bag that you sell, right? In your case, you could, if you had a website, that listed all the bags that you have to sell, then what you would typically do in this case is that you'd want, when people search for nice bag, do you sell bags for a specific occasion or a specific type of bag, Sylvester?
Well, I do well, like for a laptop or a clutch bag, maybe some bigger, but mostly like a coin purses, mostly class purses though. They're mostly class purses. I also do scarves. I weave scarves. So the scarves, that's a new product I've started just 6 months ago. So scarves, like I will weave the Barbadian colors in a scarf with wool or cotton.
Okay. All
yeah.
right. So let's use the example of the laptop bag. I think that one is easy to understand for everybody.
Yes.
A laptop bag could appeal to a student.
Right.
A laptop bag could appeal to a working class person who carries a laptop to work, right? Let's use those two
fantastic
examples, right? All right, cool. So I am a working class person, and I actually, interestingly, there are some bag brands out here that they are competing aggressively against each other for market share. So they've started to actually advertise a lot on Facebook and on Instagram as well. So if you're not on social media as yet, as a lifestyle brand, you need to get on social media, because that is the #1 place to promote lifestyle-based products, right?
I'm on social media, but this when you say lifestyle brand, what that's a person searching in social media. I'm on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, good. So in this case, what you will typically do then is that you will set up an ad to run on Facebook or Instagram that promotes your bags to males and females between the age of, say, 18 to maybe say 50, 60, right?
Okay, right.
And it would target persons who are of that age, who are in your respective geographical area that you want to service. And
Right.
whilst persons are on Instagram and Facebook, that advertisement will come up in their feed and they can click to learn more or click to buy. You understand?
Okay.
But they will become aware. They will become aware of the availability of this product, right?
Fantastic.
And
Fantastic.
you may choose to say, all right, I want to add another level of targeting. I want to target students who are at the graduate level, and I may want to also target persons who are gainfully employed somewhere, because there are these targeting parameters in the Facebook and Instagram ad manager. You understand? So that if I'm not a student or I am not employed, as in I not put it on my profile that I'm employed, then I won't see, because I don't want to waste your advertising on people who are not your potential customers. You get me? So this is a touch point that you could activate easily if you're already on Instagram and Facebook. All right.
Fantastic.
So this is driving awareness. And we're going to talk about this in more detail, when we get into the lead generation aspect of things. But since we're on the matter of touch points, let's discuss it a little bit, right? The next thing so this is driving awareness. This is just like you putting an ad in the newspaper to reach as many people as possible. Social media and Instagram is almost like a mass marketing platforms where you can put an advertisement out there and try to reach thousands or hundreds of thousands of people at a time, right? So this is driving brand awareness. The next thing that you can look at from a touch point perspective is increasing discoverability. What does that mean? It means that we want persons to discover your brand when they are searching for solutions to a particular need. So, all right, I am on Instagram and Facebook, but I've never really seen a bag ad or an ad for a bag that I like. So I'm now, semester is coming up, or maybe I've gotten a new job, or maybe I've changed laptops, so maybe I get a bigger laptop now, so I need a different size bag or something, but I have a need right now to get a bag.
Right.
What I would typically do is that I would go on Google and I would search for, maybe say, I want a laptop bag, I want something trendy, I want this, I want that. You understand? And then when you go on Google, we could again use either search engine optimization to ensure that you rank highly when persons are on Google, or you could simply run a Google search ad. What's a Google search ad? It's that result that when you search on Google, you see the top of it and it says sponsored, or it says ad at the top of the search. And it normally shows that result in the first three results, three or so results, which means that it places your product, your offering, as the first thing that somebody sees when they're searching for solutions to your problem. So this is another customer touch point. It's another customer touch point that you could use to reel in customers. And all of these assets that we're doing, whether we're running an ad on Instagram, Facebook, running the ad on the Google search, they are all leading back to your bag website.
Right.
Or maybe they are leading back to an Instagram page that displays the ad. You understand? So that they can say, all right, yeah, man, I really like how this thing look. I'm going to reach out to Sylvester to see what the price is and so forth. You understand? Because don't feel like, say, if we don't have a website, we can't sell online. Sometimes it's just driving persons to a display catalog somewhere online, a link to somewhere online that somebody can see what it is that you have to offer. You understand?
Yes.
And this is how persons get in touch with you to express interest in your product or service. Follow me?
That's great. That's fantastic. I have a website. I just need to do some work with it. Flo has helped it, but I guess I need to do some more work with that too, Flo. Okay, thanks.
But this helps you to understand the online touch points and how you can reel in customers based on different types of activities, right?
Fantastic.
Okay, all right, great. Thanks for that question, Sylvester. I hope that helped you a lot. I think I saw another hand up. Joe Beaumont. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Yeah, it's Joe Beaumont.
Oh, Beaumont. Okay.
Beaumont. So, of the various platforms that you're talking about, Google, Facebook, Instagram, and obviously TikTok, which, if you have a limited budget, which would you say was the most effective to promote your?
So for me personally, it's I try at all times when I'm going to run a campaign to activate the awareness need and the need to be discovered. What do I mean by this? As I mentioned earlier when I was speaking on Sylvester's example, I mentioned that Facebook, Instagram, YouTube are like, the newspapers and the TVs and the radios of online. What this means is that it allows you to reach a very wide audience fast. So for me, running ads on social media works very well for driving brand awareness, for letting persons know that you exist, right? When it comes to Google search though, Google search gives you a different type of lead. Oh, you have leads who are cold and you have leads who are warm. A lead who is warm is more likely to buy than a lead who is cold. Or a lead who is warm is closer to purchase than a cold lead. Google gives you a warmer lead because Google positions your product to somebody who is expressing interest to solve a problem. So I, again, go on to Google using the example of Sylvester, or let's say, for instance, in your case, your chocolate brand, right? I'm assuming that you sell chocolate based on the Belly's chocolate, right?
Yes, yes.
Right. So I'm looking for the nicest chocolate ever. I'm like, man, I just want something that hit the spot. And I may search on Google chocolates that hit the spot. And if your ad comes up and I am impressed with what I see, if I'm really having that chocolate crave, I'm more likely to find you and buy from you than if I was just scrolling through my feed on a Sunday evening and I saw an ad saying, hey, buy Belly's this chocolate, buy this chocolate brand for whatever reason. I'm not really looking for chocolate at that point in time, but I'm a chocolate person. So I may go, let me save this for another time when I have the time to really explore this option, or I may send it to a friend, a partner, and say, hey, if you want to get me a nice chocolate, buy it from here, something like that. I may take that particular action. But if I'm on Google and I'm searching, I really want, let's say I'm having an event, maybe I'm having a friends over and I want to have chocolate as part of that. And I didn't want to go to the supermarket or whatever. I just want to find something very easily. Then you're gonna find that your Google search prospect is closer to buying from you than the person who sees on your feed. Also, sometimes persons are becoming more paranoid these days about their internet activities. Meaning that I may see an ad, but I don't want to click on it because I don't want this thing to start following me around and stuff like that, right? So I may say, all right, this company name, Belly's Chocolate, I'm going to go on Google and I'm going to Google them to see what they're about. And because you're going to go on Google and search about you, you want to ensure that you're popping up first. Why? Because, and it's something I'm going to cover in our lead generation module, is that if I actually want to hijack your customers, Joe, then I could easily put in your company name to show my ad when persons are searching for you. So if you are not doing it, then I'm going to show up automatically. So when persons are looking for your chocolate brand, they're going to find me. So it's something that you definitely want to do. These are two areas that I believe are very efficient at driving traffic to your website, doing your Facebook, your Google, and your Instagram advertisement. Facebook and Instagram is more like your mass. They're more like your mass marketing. Google search is more like your yellow pages ad, right? I'm sure most of us who are maybe at my age, like 30s, 40s, would have grown up on the directory with the yellow pages. And you go to the yellow page when you're searching for a specific thing. Google search is like that, right? So it's different, but it's very efficient at driving traffic because it drives a different type of traffic to your business. Joe, I hope that was clear to you.
Yes, that was really helpful. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah, man. Cool. No problem. All right. So we're going to move on. Or maybe we want to take a 5-minute break. I know that we've been at it for 2 hours now. And we have a few more slides to go. It is normal for us to offer a 5-minute break. Normally about halfway or a couple hours in. So we're gonna give you guys a 5-minute break. Get some water, relieve yourselves if you need to go to the bathroom, grab something quickly. I'm gonna definitely grab some water, right? So we're gonna start back at I think in your case it's gonna be 3:15. In Jamaica case it's gonna be 2:15. But 5 minutes. We start back in exactly at 15 after the hour, whatever the hour is on your end, right? For 5 minutes, grab something to drink, relieve yourselves, stretch your legs, and we'll be right back. All right. All right, guys. So we invite everybody to we're gonna resume. So I hope everybody got a chance to grab something or stretch your legs. But we're gonna start back right away. We have a few more slides to go for the end of today's session, and we are very much serious about time management and starting and ending our sessions on time. All right. So I think we're pretty clear on customer touch point. As I say, guys, we have a module for almost every major consideration here, and the marketing and how you connect with customers. They're very, very important considerations. So this is just introducing from a strategy level, key considerations that you must make when you are at least, forming your business and making, key determinations for it, right? Next, we get into customer relationships, right? All right, so customer relationships. This is not a very popularly discussed area when people think about activating businesses. I think they just sell and people come and they buy. But there are different types of relationship models that you can activate to serve your customer. And one of the beautiful things about e-commerce is that e-commerce enables persons to help themselves. So if you have a business that sells products, self-serve is actually one of the customer relationship models that can work for you, meaning that somebody can visit a website, browse through your catalog, evaluate whether something is for them or not, make a buying decision, complete the purchase, come and receive the product, and never have to speak to a soul from your company, And that's one of the beautiful things about e-commerce that enable you to go to bed at night and wake up with sales in the morning when you have a self-serve customer relationship model that is working. When you sell digital products, it's even easier to offer self-serve type of customer relationship model, because when persons purchase a digital product, they're able to download it and acquire it immediately. They don't have to wait for a product to be shipped or sent to you, but you can actually have the product in their hands at the time of purchasing. So ideally, most e-commerce businesses want to activate the self-serve model, but not every e-commerce business model can support it. For those of us who sell products, I think that is the easiest. Services, I'm sure there are a few service industries or models that can support self-serve, but for those of us who may not have a self-serve model being considered, something that is worth thinking about, because as I say, these are the type of models that allows you to go to bed and wake up with sales in the morning. And I don't know who does not like to make money in their sleep. I certainly do. So we definitely encourage as much adoption as is possible to that line of thinking. Right? Because that's definitely one of the benefits of doing e-commerce. The ability to sell products to person without ever having to interact with them. It allows it also maintain a lower staff complement than if you were to actually serve or provide a personal service to these individuals, right? So I would say, guys, it's good for product sales and even digital products that persons purchase and consume, acquire on their own. So I would say here for Kim's Beauty, you see it highlighted here for her raw products, her beauty products, and her courses. Personal service now, as the word says, service, applies a lot to service-based industries or sale that requires somebody to be a part of the process of whether it be fulfilling the service of the customer or even us getting the customer to buy, right? Financial institutions use a lot of personal service and relationship selling to sell their products and services. Even service providers, so like your utilities, like your internet, your cable. Once they have other competitors, that's a type of relationship model that they use. You know, recently I was buying some tiles for a project that I had at home. And when I went to the tile store, I walked in and I was browsing, and people came and asked me, if I needed help and support. That's not a form of personal service. So, when you walk into the clothing store and somebody walks up to you and say, hey, can I help you? That's a form of personal service, right? Anyway, I was at the tile store and I wanted to buy the tile, and the person asked, who is my rep? I was like, rep? I mean, I don't have a rep. I think I bought something there before, but I don't have a rep. Person asked for my name. They pulled up my name in the system, and I said, oh, your rep is no longer with us. And for you to do business with us, you must have a rep. And what they did was assign me to somebody else who was in there, and that person took me through the rest of the process. And I was blown away by the approach and how embedded it was into their process. And this is because they have been intentional about implementing a personal service customer relationship model within their business. What they expect from this is that every time when you come to the store to purchase, you deal with the same person over and over, and it builds familiarity. Through familiarity, I am more likely to continue shopping with that company than any other. Why? Because at some point in time, I'm going to end up with that person's business number in my phone. I'm going to be able to call the person and say, hey, I'm looking for XYZ. Do you guys have it in store? I can build that personal relationship with the person. If I bought too many tiles, I could go back and say, hey, Miss Jane, I bought too many tiles. Can you guys help me to the refund for the balance? Things like that, So being very intentional about the type of service model really does impact how you sell and the quality and quantity of your sales. There are some models, like for instance, for self-serve. Oftentimes for a self-serve model, the products are of a fairly affordable price. I'm not going to say low price, but affordable price. The margins may not be great on those products as well. So you don't want to invest too much into making the sale. It's either you want it or you don't want it. Personal service normally focuses a lot on selling bigger ticket items, selling products that are of a large value, more likely of a high profit margin as well, which affords you the luxury of assigning a rep to a customer to complete the sale, right? So understanding these two different sales models is important because it impacts how you activate your sale when persons land on your website. Are you just going to allow them to peruse and shop, or do you want them to be engaging with a customer to complete the purchase? Another example is in my own business. When you go to my website, I don't list any product with a price that you can add to cart and checkout. If you want to buy a service from my company, you fill out a lead form for the sales rep to contact you. And that is personal service. Why? Because we know that for a customer to choose us, or a company to choose us as their technology partner, they first need to feel comfortable. They need to trust us. They need to see who it is that these persons are. And we need to demonstrate that from the get-go, right? So we're very clear in my business that personal service is going to be the #1 way of unlocking sales. But although I may use personal service to get them through the door, I could use self-service for repeat sales as well, meaning that we sell SMS services here to help persons connect to customers in Jamaica, right? Companies to connect to customers in Jamaica. After we've signed them up using the personal service relationship method, we could, and we are actually in the process of setting up an online ordering system so persons can top up themselves It's just like when you go to Digicel or Flow to open an account, you have to speak to a rep to get onboarded. But after you're onboarded, all you need to do is either add credit or top up. You don't need to really interact much with people. Sometimes it's a street vendor you're buying from, you're not interacting directly from the company. You understand? So you can use them interchangeably, you can use them at different stages in the buying process, but it's important to understand what type of customer relationship you're going to build and how you're going to use or leverage that customer relationship to drive your sales process. All right? Distribution strategy. Now, your distribution strategy is how you get your products into your customers' hand, not necessarily from a fulfillment perspective, but how do you get customers to buy your products? So in many cases, us as manufacturers, as producers of handmade items, craft items, bags, paintings, what's the word I'm searching for? Person who produce these homemade remedies, all of those type of things that we make with our hands, right? Oftentimes we have to try to figure
one of a kind products.
Repeat.
One of a kind products.
Yes, one of a kind products. Anything that is handmade or manufactured, we have to figure out how we're going to get it into our customers' hand. Even me, as a technology provider, I have to figure out my distribution strategy. How am I going to get my products into my customer's hand? And when I say products, I mean as many products as possible into your customer's hand. Because when you think about distribution, you don't distribute one thing. You try to distribute a large volume of things. So how do we move as much volume of this product as is possible and get it to our end customer? Right? So in some cases, we use sales reps. So a sales rep may work for your company. They may go out there and look for customers and sign them up or sell them whatever product it is that we're selling, right? In other instances, persons may use partnerships. So I may be selling let me see. I may be selling milk, for argument's sake, and I partner with a bun company who has access to my market of persons who want to buy milk, because we know people like to drink bun and milk together, but like to drink milk with their bun. For argument's sake, just plain devil's advocate. There's an example of how you can partner. So you have persons out there who are selling products that are complementary, they don't compete, and oftentimes they sometimes bundle or package, or sometimes a matter of leveraging somebody's location. So for example, I remember when I just started out in e-commerce, the very first thing that I did was I built my first e-commerce store, and I said I was going to sell products to people, and I started with an online clothing store for women, right? And I was the one out there shopping for the women clothes and everything. But I partnered with a salon, a very popular salon here in Kingston that was very trendy, attracting a lot of artists and a lot of the high, the high net worth crowd, the persons who are going to the events and persons who have money to spend, I said, I'm going to partner with her and I'm going to get a little corner in her store. So that whilst women are there waiting for their hair styles to be done or their beauty services to be done, they can go and peruse the catalog of things that we had to offer in there. So that's a simple and easy example of a partnership, you understand? And there are many different forms of partnership where you come together with other persons who are doing complementary things that don't hurt your brand don't hurt theirs, and you make it work, right? Then you have resellers, persons who will, buy your product at a particular rate and resell it at a higher rate. Retailers, I think, fall in that category. So retailers / resellers are good examples of a distribution strategy that you can activate, right? And you can have persons resell your products from your website. Remember, we talked about drop shipping earlier. It's there further on the second to last point, where you are selling a product, and because you want to access the widest market possible, you offer drop shipping as part of your distribution strategy. So when people come to you, let them know, hey, I offer drop shipping. So if you want to sell this product and make some money, let's engage in a formal arrangement where you sell it, you buy from me, and I ship it directly to your customer. So you don't have to engage drop shipping as part of your business model to sell other people's products, but you can integrate it into your business as a model for them to sell your products. A perfect example would be, accessing the diaspora market. There are many of these Caribbean diaspora markets that are hungry for Caribbean products. They really love the stuff that they're used to back home and they want it. Or some of these diaspora persons are like second generation diaspora customers, where their parents were the ones who came from the respective countries, but they're so caught up in the culture, anything that resembles it, they want it. So you can definitely look at even having drop shipping relationship with persons who are in other markets but want to sell products that you have to offer. All right. They have referrals. Referrals are a great way for persons to get access to your products in high value selling. Referrals are probably your strongest sales asset. Somebody who has experienced your product telling somebody else to choose you is just one of the greatest things that can happen to your business. Whether they're telling 1 people or 10 people, is a different thing. But at the end of the day, getting somebody out there to speak strongly about using your product and encouraging persons to do the same is a very well used distribution strategy that persons have used a lot in the past. Now, e-commerce is very good at activating referral business models, right? There are referral points that you can earn if you share a product and the person buy. I myself have set up referral systems for companies who want to run a referral program whereby persons share a link to a particular product with their friends, families, whoever. Once the person completes purchase within a certain time frame, maybe it's 30 days, or they can show the person enter the website but they bought something else, but they came from your link, the commission could be assigned to you. Referrals play a very major role in a lot of online selling activities, right? And you have affiliate programs. Affiliate programs is where pretty much it's similar to a referral, but a little bit different. With referrals, you tell a person about them, make a purchase, then they give you a point, and you can use that point back to shopping or shopping online with them. With the affiliate programs, though, you earn a commission. So, you see a lot of beauty persons get into affiliate marketing. You will see a lot of travel products using affiliate marketing. So, like persons who sell hotels and so forth. There's this big one in Jamaica. I don't remember the name of it. But their claim to fame is that they're empowering persons to be their own boss by selling hotel rooms via an affiliate program, and for every room that they sell, they earn a commission from it and so forth. So in essence, what has happened is that they've created this program that gives persons commission cashback from the efforts that they've made from marketing and promoting the product. And by using this methodology, they have used the people as their distribution strategy to get as many people buying these products from them, right? So that's very innovative, and affiliate marketing as well works very well with e-commerce. Again, you can share an affiliate link, and the affiliate link tracks all the activity, all the buying activity that happens against that link and register it to your account, the person who shared that particular link. And then you have, the white labeling distribution strategy, whereby you take somebody else's product or somebody takes your product and go sell it as their own. So for instance, in my case, I've had this being done with our SMS system. So we provide SMS services to businesses who want to connect with their customers. Other persons saw us doing it. They didn't want the headache of having to build out and technically support an SMS platform of that nature. So it was easier for them to put their branding on our product and go out there, buy the messages from us, just mark it up and sell it back to their existing customers, right? The persons can choose to white label your product if you allow it. The only thing with white labeling is that your brand disappears from the conversation, but you still get the sale. So you have to determine what is most important to you when you're making a decision like this, all right? I see a question, I see a hand up. You can unmute and go ahead and speak.
So much. I would have posted my question in the chat, but I just wanted to see if you can directly answer my question. So I'm just wondering, what is the average standard market rate that is most beneficial for us as manufacturers when utilizing resale services? Because my main concern is, say, for example, I'm doing a bulk order for resale, but when that markup goes onto my product, it then exceeds what I really want my customer to pay for that product, if that makes sense. Okay. So I'm just wondering, what is the best ratio?
So you are a manufacturer, but you provide your products to retailers who then add a markup to it to sell back to their customers, right? And you want to manage that that process, that markup rate. That's the concern, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. I know Gilbert has a lot of thoughts and a lot of insight and information on this particular topic. So I don't know if he wants to step in and answer this question. And Gilbert, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Do you want to jump in on this one?
Hey, Bethany, we have a module on pricing that's really, really extensive. It goes into how you actually cost your products, all the different factors you have to take into consideration, including not leaving money on the table. What you're talking about, that whole reseller thing, those are contractual agreements that you could come to with your reseller. But if you want to control how the price that is your products are being sold for, it often means that you'd have to give up a lot more of you'd have to create a much better deal with a reseller. If you come into me and you're selling an umbrella, you're selling umbrellas or let's say slippers, what is your product?
My product so far are candles.
Candles. Okay, so you're selling candles. You want me to be a reseller. I'm an outlet for your candles, but you want to maintain a standard price across all channels. And that standard price is, let's say, $100. And you come to me. You're now telling me that resale of that product, me who probably have to go into the marketing, me who have to maintain my physical location, what I can retail that product for. It means you have to give me a great offer on me buying those products from you. So you understand what you have to give up in order to maintain that control of your product. If you're willing to do so, then fine. If not, then, but most of the times those are contractual arrangements based on you have already priced your product and you can afford those losses or those agreements. But we'll go into all of this in the pricing module.
Thanks for that, Gilbert. Yeah, man. Thanks for that, Gilbert. Also, just to add as well, they asked about a ratio. There's no standard ratio. Every product is different. Every product is unique. At the end of the day, there are cost price that you bear to create your product. There's also cost that you incur to market it, to get it out there and all those things. These are things that have to be built into your pricing model. At the end of the day, it is important for you to understand your own industry and how it operates. So maybe there may be a standard retail rate or a markup rate for retailing of candles. I know that, for instance, in the FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods industry, it is normal for supermarkets and so forth to mark up a product by 20, 30, 40%, but not 100%. They get me 100% is just too far. It's too expensive at that point in time, but they're moving fast goods. They're moving, you're not buying, well, you can buy one thing at a time, but a typical supermarket shopper is buying 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 things at a time, you know? So because of the volume that they're buying, the low margin works out for them. In your case, you also have to determine whether or not this is luxury type of candle, meaning, expensive candle that smell nice and all these things? Or is it just one of them candle that hurricane where you light when time power gone, right? They're different. It makes a difference. So Gilbert will have an entire model that talks about pricing and how you deal with luxury versus standard brands and so forth, which I'm sure you will appreciate when he gets to it. All right. So he'll touch base on that when we get here. All right, so let's slide into our last three slides because we only have about 15 minutes left to go, right? All right, so this slide talks about key sales activities. Now, when we think about sales, oftentimes we think about sales when we need it, or promotions when we need to make sales. And it's important for us to organize ourselves based on the calendar year. That's my approach. I recommend that persons look at a calendar year of activities and sales occasions and opportunities that drive demand for your product throughout the year and market accordingly, or activate your sales strategies based on that. So I have ongoing as one of the key things that I believe you must have, especially as a young brand that is trying to get your name and keep your name out there. It's always good to have one or two promotions that you're just running right through. And what you can do is you can change out the look and feel of the content, but your message remains the same. Or your message may tweak, but at the end of the day, you are purposefully running these campaigns as brand campaigns that get the name out there, allow persons to know about your brand, learn about your brand. So when you're ready to make a buying decision, your brand is already in their head and they're not questioning, who is this person? Why should I buy from them? Always use the example of KFC. No matter how good or bad KFC is doing in Jamaica, you'll always see an ad on TV. Down to the baby that was born yesterday knows that when they're ready to eat fast food, KFC should be the #1 fast food option, right? So I always use them as an example because they promote non-stop, right? And it shows in their sales. Every KFC drive-through or their lines always very long. You wonder what do they put in that chicken, yes? And then you have seasonal campaigns, right? Where you promote products based on commercial seasons. So for example, use the example of candles. We know, say, Valentine's, a candle time, right? So if it is that, you're selling candles, we definitely want to target seasonal occasions like that. In Jamaica, when it comes to Easter, bun and cheese is the thing. There's this cheese brand called Tasty Cheese. It came to my attention that Tasty made at least 50% of their sales for the year during the Easter period. That's how much bun and cheese is purchased. Even, for instance, bun brands as well, it's the same thing. When you go to the supermarkets, buns are packed high. They're not even placed on shelves. You have an entire gondola or an entire section just to stock buns from floor to ceiling, right? Because of how many buns are sold during that period. It's important for us to understand which occasions are sale occasions. And there are these commercial seasons right throughout there. There's Christmas. For those who are into giving, for those who are into fruit cake, and I don't know what the other norms are in your specific country, what people consume or buy during Christmas, but once you can identify throughout the year what are the occasions that people choose to buy my products, and you can sell them. If you sell naturally made, authentically products from your country, and maybe around the emancipation, independence period, maybe a time to sell things like that. If you sell gifts and things like that, things like Mother's Day, Father's Day, Teacher's Day, birthdays, are seasonal occasions that we can choose to promote these types of things. And it doesn't mean that because you are promoting your seasonal products, mean you stop your brand campaign as ongoing. Why? Because it's always ongoing. It's not interrupted, right? So this is not complementary to what you're doing in your ongoing campaign. And then you have sale campaigns we are promoting deals, specials, buy one, get one, things like that. You may want to clear stock. You may want to get rid of goods before they expire. You may want to increase your customer base for a particular reason, so you will lower your prices to make it more attractive. These are sales campaigns. So these are 3 types of sales activities that we want to activate throughout the year. We recommend that you look at it from a calendar year perspective. When is the best time to sell? I firmly believe, and I encourage you guys to sell your products during the time period when persons are buying it. It doesn't make any sense that we go out there and we're selling our products to persons who do not want it to buy. No, it's not marketing we're doing, it's we're selling, right? And if we're going to be serious about sales, then it is much easier to activate sales in and around the time when persons are looking to buy your product. So it don't make no sense you sell the candle on New Year's Day, because maybe that's not a time when persons are looking to buy candles. Valentine's Day, though, is a different ball game, right? So I hope I've made that very clear, right? Now, cost structure is very important to understand. At the end of the day, we're all entrepreneurs and everything must make dollars and cents, right? And understanding the cost structure that we need to activate e-commerce departments and e-commerce strategies, or even to build out a full e-commerce business is something that we must be aware of. So first area that I like to touch on is banking and infrastructure. If you're a business that plans to have a physical location, of course, you may want to look at your rent, your office maintenance, and whatever systems that need to be set up there to facilitate the doing of business there. And then also your payment services, right? And this applies as well for online. So if, let's say, for instance, you want to activate an e-commerce system, when you go to the bank to acquire the service, they're going to charge you a set of fee. Setup fee may be 100 US, maybe 200 US. I've seen it gone up to as much as 550 US. Once upon a time, I remember being at 1,000 US, is a long time before COVID, right? But they exist. And then they have monthly fees that you must pay to maintain the service that they're offering. And then there are transactional fees that you incur every time the service is being used. So if somebody purchases a book from you, a bottle from you, a car from you, whatever that product is, there's a percentage that is charged by the bank or the payment gateway provider as part of the service that is given. So you have a monthly, so you have a setup, you have the monthly, and you have a transactional cost that you must be aware of, right? You may also incur costs to set up your company, you know, depending on the type of company that you have different types of costs. Then if it is that you are selling a physical product or selling a product that you need to stock, then we have to look at the inventory investment as well, right? Which is why things like digital products are easy to sell, are encouraged highly to sell by a person who don't have a lot of money to pump into stock, right? Again, as well, drop shipping can be used again to counter that stock issue. You don't have a lot of money to put into stock, right? They have to look at people. You know, what type of people do you need to support your business? Yes, you may need an admin person who is managing the e-commerce orders that may come in and marking the items as paid or complete. You know, there are different functions that must happen around e-commerce and support. Even, for instance, providing support. Somebody pick up the phone and call your business because maybe the chocolate that they bought, they got the wrong size. Maybe they bought something that was big and they got something medium, right? How do you support your process? And I can tell you guys that support has a very, 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 very important part to play in trust. When people are buying things from you and they're not able to see you, touch you, feel you, your level of responsiveness and support is what makes them trust you. They feel like them sending an email and respond within a minute or two. After receiving that mail, they'll be like, wow. I remember during COVID, I had all hands on deck. I was driving all traffic through my website and somebody filled out a form online and got a call within 5 minutes. First, pick up the phone and call me direct and say, Leighton, are you running a call center over there? How can I leverage your call center to sell my products and services? I was like, no, I don't have a call center. I was training my sales rep to operate a certain way. It was so impactful that things like that is what drives trust online, right? So we have to be very mindful of what the operational needs of our business is, and sorry, our operational needs are, and what resources we need to provide to support that, right? So if it's sales, if it's providing support, if it's providing the a team to fulfill the orders, we need to be very aware of what our cost is going to be. Then outside of getting the business up and running, the next big cost though to be mindful of is your promotional cost. How are you going to get the name out there? How are you going to get persons to know that you sell these products? Are going to come down to your marketing and promotion. What is that going to cost? Do we need a marketing person, or are we just be setting up ads that promote a part of marketing content? Even the creation of that content. Are you making a video? Are you making a GIF? Are you just doing a photo? Are you doing a graphic flyer? What are those things and what are those costs? I think that you have to be very mindful of when creating an e-commerce business. And the last slide here talks about fulfillment. After persons have purchased the product from you, how are they going to get it? What are going to be your delivery or fulfillment options? In the case of Kim's Beauty, they ship physical products to the individuals. For the beauty services that persons came to get, they were provided to them on spot, right? And then we didn't have anything to download in this case, but digital downloads are very powerful way of selling digital assets. It allows persons to access the asset immediately after purchase, and is something that should be considered when embarking on any sale of anything digital. But a flip side to digital downloads is protection against future revenue. What do I mean by this? All right, so I sell a guide. And let's use Kim's Beauty for argument's sake. I sell a guide on how to buy makeup, or how to apply makeup, or how to look like Kim Kardashian, for argument's sake, yes? And people buy this guide. Say a lady bought the guide and she is a mother of 3 daughters. Maybe she is a sister to 10 other sisters, and her own mom have 10 more sisters. Very big family, right? Kind of reminds me a little bit about one side of my family. But let's say they have a very big family and one person bought that book. That person can share that guide because it is downloaded. It is on their phone or on their laptop. They can drop it into their family group and share it with everybody. Everybody download it and everybody enjoy the resource. But only one person paid for it. So in businesses like these, once they get to a certain volume in sales, their issue becomes, how do I protect my revenue by restricting persons' ability to share the asset that they have downloaded? This is when they start to look at, all right, can I instead make the asset available for viewing or interaction online in a secure space that I need to log into? In that case, then they would have to share their login details with all these persons, which most persons are not going to be very quick to do, because whether it is your password is the same password you use for many things or otherwise, that's just not how people operate, So when you have digital downloads or digital products for sale, there's always a consideration about protecting the assets so it's not shareable, and so that you can also benefit from your customer bragging about this asset to a friend or family and say, yeah man, go and buy it and such and such and such, right? Instead, if you don't have that, then they'll just share a copy with the individual and you lose out of that future cash flow or future revenue, right? And then you have virtual delivery, which is where you deliver a course or you deliver a service to somebody virtually. That's again a very popular fulfillment model, especially since COVID. Persons are doing things by their hand, making things by their hand, or providing a service that's very simple and easy to do. Again, virtual delivery is something that is becoming more popular as well, right? So these are the fulfillment options that are popular. Having your physical shipping of products and services, and fulfillment and shipping. Again, Gilbert is going to go through all of this, but fulfillment in physical shipping of products. A lot of it has to do with choosing the right logistics partner or delivery person, and what costs come with delivering to different locations. So, all right, are you delivering to around town? Are you delivering to another end of your island? I know a lot of us are from very small Caribbean countries, and it may not be a vast difference in somebody delivering a product to your hometown versus out of town. It may not be very far. But for instance, in Jamaica, where it's 4 or 5 hours from one end of the island to one next, a delivery person cannot charge the same amount of money that it would charge to deliver something half an hour down the road as it would take to deliver something 5 hours away, right? So you have to be very aware of these things and understand our delivery network and what providers are offering in that network. Another example of that is Knutsford Express. Is a Jamaican bus system that connects major towns in Jamaica, allow persons to travel. In those AC buses that are very big and comfortable, like tour buses and so forth. They started to offer delivery services, but what they do is that they offer from office to office. So for them, it don't matter how far the product is going. Once you want to pick it up at a specific office, it's the same rate. These are things that impact you making a decision from choosing a Knutsford Express versus another delivery service provider who's going to charge you based on distance. So we need to be mindful of these things in our respective countries and know what the rate is and how all of this works. This is our final module for today. That's the last point of information. I now open the floor for anybody who may have any questions before we wrap up for today. Any questions before we wrap? No? All right. Okay. Joe, you raise your hand. Go ahead.
Will you be talking about selling on TikTok?
That's a good question. We did not have TikTok specifically as a platform that we'll call out. We do have selling on social media that we will discuss as one of the platforms, as one of the channels. But I can definitely look at adding TikTok because more persons are selling on TikTok these days, similar to how persons are selling on Instagram. But we could definitely look at adding TikTok considerations for the social platform selling.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. All right. Do we have more hands? I think I see another hand. Let's unmute and go ahead, please. Brian Walker.
Present, what I do is normally I do CMOS. Cultivate the CMOS and sell it locally and export it also. I was just wondering whether there's any way that some kind of cryptocurrency, since we're on that topic, cryptocurrency can be used if you're doing a business to business and
I don't know. Brian, you're sounding very muffled. I've only heard CMOS. And I think I heard cryptocurrency a while ago. I'm not sure if I don't know if you could probably come closer to your microphone. I don't know if you're using a microphone and it's muffled, but it's sounding very muffled on your end. It's very hard to hear you.
Can you hear me?
Let's go again. Let's try again.
Yes, I was asking you whether
No, I still very muffled. I cannot hear you. Oh. Maybe you could type the question in the chat, a shortened version of it. But I can't hear what you're saying at all. Gilbert, are you hearing him? I don't know if it's only my side, but I'm not hearing him very clearly.
No, you're right. He's muffled.
Okay. Brian, you can type a question in the chat, and maybe we can get a chance to address it. Gilbert, is there anything else from your end before we wrap? We're 5 minutes past the hour. And I said it, attendance has shot. People start to drop off. Anything else before we close? Philip?
I'm good. I'm just happy for today. Numbers are great. I think we have to move to a webinar format because of just the popularity of the today's session. More than 100 people wanted to get in. So yeah, but great stuff.
Okay. All right, guys. If there is, let me see if
Brian put the question in the chat.
Okay, just about to check. Okay, so whether cryptocurrency can be used as a means of payment. All right, so I know that there are different platforms out there in the first world countries that are integrating the use of cryptocurrency into the payment of digital transactions. The issue here on your end, Brian, I don't know which country you're from. Maybe you can drop that country in the chat as well. The issue, the Caribbean issue is always accessing these technologies or accessing the cash after you have completed the transaction. St. Lucia, okay. So whilst these tools are readily available for persons who live and operate business in the first world countries like the USA, Canada, UK, and so forth, you're going to find that Jamaicans are going to have a challenge, or Caribbean nationals are going to have a challenge collecting payments in those formats just from an access perspective. So that's the biggest problem with payment systems with the Caribbean: access. All of these tools are readily available if you're registered as a business owner in the US, which is something that we have, discussed at length in our last VEAP program, and that we will discuss again in this as well. I myself have a business registered in the US mainly for the purpose of taking advantage of everything that living or operating in the US has to offer. Sometimes that's what it takes for us to really maximize on the true potential of e-commerce, right? So there are many considerations to this, but the issue at all times where these innovations are concerned is access. All right, so Brian, I hope that at least gave us some insight into what the possibilities are. I'm not going to say it's impossible because, as I said, many of these tools are available. Is it possible for you? Is it viable for you? Is our next question that you'll have to consider. So if you have business interest in the US, if you have access to the US from being a citizen or a green card holder perspective, these things may be viable for you. But again, without that level of access, it's going to be a challenge. Right. Here, there's a mention that, getting payments through local banks are only now catching up in the Caribbean. So, we are very far behind the first world countries where e-commerce is concerned. The only good thing to that is that we can always look at what's happening in those markets and know it is coming soon. Even a lot of the social selling tools that are available on the Instagram and so forth are not very accessible to us as Jamaicans. Yes, maybe we can do it to a point, but how do we get the money? We can't get the money. Sale is not completed. If the sale is not completed, we can't provide a product to the customer. So these are the challenges that we have to overcome on our end. Also, one final comment on that also is that in the Caribbean, it's not popular for persons to be making payments using crypto. So unless your target market is of a nature that you're tapping into a market of crypto holders, then this may not be a viable option for you personally, just from a what makes sense perspective, So we have to think about these things, guys, when we consider these different options for integration into our business. That's it for today. If there are any other questions, feel free to connect with us. Philip, do you know if you have set up any groups or any forums for persons to engage outside of the sessions on it as yet?
Yeah, not yet, but we would. Maybe it's best to do it by when we have the 3 groups broken out according to level of e-commerce adoption. Yeah, so
Okay.
that's more manageable.
That's it from me today, guys. I thank you for your attendance, your participation, and the questions. We look forward to even more engagement as we go through the other modules and other sessions.
Great. See you guys next week.
Take care. Bye.